purposeful. Driving through the middle is Vera 2, works it out onto the left-hand side. They're backing off a little bit, Brighton, and into the box cross. Took a deflection, it's gone well wide. I think that's going to be a corner kick to Marseille. A little bit standoffish, that defending. And, well, he probably just didn't quite know what to do with it in the end, Vera 2. Not sure if it's a shot or a cross, but it is a corner.
Yeah, there's a lot of bodies in the way in the end. He's looking towards goal, but then there's so many options in the box. So I think it's just a bit of a mixture of the two, and then if a ricochet falls the way of Marseille, then great. And it sort of has, I suppose, because it's a corner.
Klaus with the delivery in towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Dunk heads clear. Wasn't the best first touch from Vera.
ครับเพื่อนๆสวัสดีนะครับ
Marseille have it towards the halfway line, coming forward fairly quickly because Klaus is in space on the right. He took the corner. Trying to work the 1-2, doesn't work the 1-2. This time it's a low ball. Shot comes in at the far post. It's in the back of the net. Cool finish in the end. And Marseille have taken the lead. Well worked from the position on the right. Little 1-2. This time it went low, picked out a teammate, and it's coolly slotted past. It's Mbemba, the defender, with a cool finish. Still no chance at all. We have a goal.
Yeah, it's the ex-Newcastle United man, isn't it, Mbemba?
เสยเฮ้ยยิงไอ้เหี้ยเรียบร้อยเลยเอาละครับเพื่อนๆโอ้โหโอลิมปิกมักเซยนะครับขึ้นนำนะครับก็หึ่มจริงๆโอ้วันนี้โอบามิยองลงด้วยนะครับเพื่อนๆเอ็มเมบ้าเหรอกองหลังนะเพื่อนเซนเตอร์นี่ยิงด้วยโอ้โหตั้งแต่หัววันเลยเอาล่ะเพื่อนๆโอลิมปิกมักเซยนะครับขึ้นนำไบรตันแล้ว1-0นะครับโดยโอ้โหยิงดีด้วยไม่ใช่เลยหรอกสวัสดีครับพี่ทะเลโอ้โห
That cause a mistake at the back as well. Dunks missed it and going through down the right hand side is Harry. Can he pick up a pass? Great save. I was going to say great save. It isn't. It's gone through the hands. 2 in a minute.
โอบามิยองนะลงด้วย
Terrible from Lewis.
เวสต์แฮมนำแล้วเหรอครับพี่
Kind of cross low from the right. First time effort. Still got a hand to it. Couldn't keep it out. It's 2-0.
Oh, it's a howler, isn't it, from Dunk? It really is. I mean, you go 1 down and you're frustrated. And let's not forget, Brighton had the kickoff. So it's
เอามาอีกแล้วยิงเอ้ย2-0เลยโอ้โหไบรตันนะครับพลาด2 ลูกรวดอะไรอ่ะโอ้โหโดนอย่างไวแล้วเพื่อนๆ2-0อดจะไม่ได้หายเหม็นเลยแล้วไงต่อทีเนี้ยไบรตันแล้วเหมือนเดิมเป๊ะเพื่อนๆเปิดจากขวาตบเข้าในไปแล้วก็แปรเน้นเข้าไปเลยอ้าวโอ้แล้วคัตแบ็กยังสวยอ่ะเพื่อนๆ
shots, so to get 2 goals from that situation is pretty good return for Marseille. Long way to go in the game. Of course, they've not been keeping clean sheets, so Brighton don't want the heads to go down too early. I think it's a nutmeg in the end. He's hit it hard enough that obviously Steele's protecting the whole goal, and it's gone through the leg.
สนุกแล้วครับคราวนี้สนุกละ
One of them, I don't think it was a hand, is the suggestion there, but
เพื่อนๆพี่
He was under more pressure than Mbemba, wasn't he? Which
โอ้ในบ้านแล้วในบ้านหมักเซยอ่ะมันแบบ
because that was from a set piece, whereas that's the last goal. The second goal stemmed from a mistake, so you'd think that Brighton might have been a little bit more all over the place, but it's not great.
โหนาที19และ20พร้อมกันแบบ
even when they've been dominating games, they haven't kept a clean sheet so far. I mean, they do keep winning, but they had kept winning without keeping clean sheets. The defence has been an issue, but they're going to have to come from behind in this one. Rangers thought they'd got an equaliser. That's been chalked off through VAR. obviously a lot's been said about VAR. It's a different setup, European VAR, though, isn't it?
ทีนี้ต้องดูแหละว่าไบรตันจะแก้ยังไงนะเพื่อน
The Premier League should adopt because there seem to be fewer
ๆ
mistakes.
โอ้ค่อนข้างที่จะแก้ยากอยู่อะโอ้แล้วในบ้านหมักเซยด้วยอะไม่ง่ายๆเลยอะครับโอลิมปิกหมักเซยนะครับนำไบรตันแล้ว 2-0 ผ่านเพื่อนด้วยนะครับเข้ามาแล้วรบกวนฝากกด Subscribe ฝากกดติดตามให้ด้วยนะ
latch onto that, but it goes all the way back to Jason Steele.
Yeah, so Brighton start again from the back, but it might just be that wake-up call that they needed. A couple of goals tend to do that. Got time to turn it around. As I say, they've been full of goals, but they barely had a kick in and around the box. That's been a problem. It's a little bit un-Brighton-like from what we've seen this season.
ไบรตันต้องแก้เกมแล้วต้องแก้ด่วนเลยอะเรื่องใหญ่เลยอะเพื่อน
But they seem to have found a finisher now. This particular game, they just can't find him in and around the box. Welbeck tasked with that one as Marseille are
ๆเอาไงต่อ
down the right-hand side again. Both of the goals stemming from that side. This time the ball is played
ไปเว้ย
towards Harry.
สู้
Behind by Dahoud. It will be a corner and perhaps a good.
ๆมีทั้งโกเลอานะเพื่อนๆโอบามิยองเงี้ย
Brighton seemingly in trouble. Marseille 2, Brighton 0. Here's Ben.
Yeah, cheers, Robin. It's again down the right flank. It's where
Holea.
so far, and Klaus gets the ball in again. It's a panic.
ดูโอบามิยองมาอยู่ฝรั่งเศสดูจะมีน้ำมีนวลขึ้นนะผมว่าโอ้โหตัวสำรองก็ผมจำได้ว่ามีมักเซยมีอเล็กซิสซานเชสด้วยแล้วก็มีอิสมาอิลาซาโดยที่พอรู้จักนะเอาแต่อเล็กซิสซานเชสไปไหนครับไม่รู้ไม่มีชื่อหรอ
from that free kick which Solly March whipped in. I can't see who it hits an arm. It's a bit of a bird's eye view at the moment of the cameras at the Stade Velodrome.
เฮ้ยอะไรอะเช็ค VR
because his arm is out, isn't it? But I think he's under pressure there from Van Hecke.
อะไรวะ
That makes sense as to why Van Hecke raced over to the referee because he's the one right by the incident. But he's got his hands over the defender entirely. And to me, it just doesn't seem too unnatural for it to hit the arm. But they're having a fair old look at this. They keep rewinding back to the free kick and watching the handball again. And I think the more they look at it, I should say, the more they may overrule the decision.
เอาล่ะครับเพื่อน
Given a penalty, or have they? No, they haven't. They're going to free
ๆเหมือน
kick.
จะมีไอ้นี่นะ
The penalty spot.
เช็ค
No, he pointed
VR นะครับเป็นจุดวัดจุดโทษแต่มันก็มีส่วนนะครับเพื่อนๆที่ทำให้ไอ้ดังอะยิงไม่ได้ต้องวิเคราะห์ดีๆเลยครับอย่างกรรมการเรียบร้อยไหมจุดโทษเรียบจุดโทษเพื่อนๆอ๋อไม่ได้เหรออ๋อแฮนด์บอลเอาล่ะครับเพื่อนๆแฮนด์บอลตกลงแฮนด์ไม่แฮนด์เนี่ยอะไรของมันวะ
as they've decided, was arguably fouling the defender. So yeah, like you say, it's good VAR. I mean, it did actually flash up on our screen. Penalty given. Somebody's made a change of a decision.
ตกลงได้ไม่ได้วะเนี่ยไม่ได้โอเค
I thought when it flashed up penalty, I can't believe he's given a penalty for that because it's not intentional. I wouldn't say Van Hecke's necessarily fouling him either, but it wasn't intentional. He wasn't stopping the ball reaching a Brighton player.
โอบามิยองโอ้โห
However they've come to a decision, it's a good one because I didn't think it was a penalty.
ครับซอลิมาร์
handballs you can just never know nowadays. They're almost treated as isolated events, and there's never any consistency. But that is the right decision, I think, from Mikola Balakin, the Ukrainian referee. For Brighton,
วันนี้อุตส่าห์เอาอันซูฟาติลงด้วยนะครับเพื่อนๆก็ยังไม่เห็นเลยนะอันซูฟาติเนี่ยไม่ได้จีจ้าเท่าไหร่เลย
Sometimes when you see the referee go over to the screen, it almost is a dead ringer to overturn the decision. But he's gone over there and he's stuck by his original decision. Yeah, I think what possibly helps him because obviously not labouring one particular VAR official, but they kind of played a replay, not just the impact. If they'd have freezed it
ball straight in his hand, it might have been, seen as well. It's hit his hand, therefore it's a penalty. But it's kind of like here's the instant cross has come in.
โอลิมปิกมักเซยนะผมว่าแม่งในฟุตบอลฝรั่งเศสนะทีมไหนมาเยือนฝรั่งเศสผมว่าไม่ง่ายเพราะนะแบบว่ากองเชียร์แม่งดูเป็นผู้เล่นตัวที่12ได้ดีมากๆเลย
Van Hecker isn't appealing for a penalty, so it seems a bit rude that you'd get a penalty when you don't even know it's a penalty. But I think they're good.
วันนี้ลินดังนะผิดฟอร์มไปหน่อยลินดังเอสซูปิยานนี่มันเป็นอะไรอะเอสซูปิยานแม่งเจ็บนะครับเพื่อนๆเลยทำให้แลมตี้มานะทางขวาก็เลยแบบเป๋ๆเลยพอถ้ามีเอสซูปิยานนะผมว่าทางขวาไม่โดนอย่างนี้2ลูกหรอกโดนคัตแบ็ก2ลูกเลยอะมาอีกแล้วครับโอลิมปิกมักเซยมาอีกแล้วครับเบนาตูโอบามยองเปิดโอ้โหไม่ได้ดูเดี๋ยวเพื่อนๆลูกเปิดโอบามยองโคตรน่ากลัวเลย
Obviously, he's recalled him tonight, and he's going to be obviously giving him the big high fives. That's 3 or 4 interceptions. Because although they're controlling this game, Marseille, Balerdi's made a couple of interceptions, not clean through on goal or anything like that, but he's stopping Brighton getting a foot.
เอาไว้หลุดแล้วไปมิโตมะโอ้โหไม่ทันครับโดนสไลด์ก่อนเอาไว้มิโตมะวันนี้เราต้องแผงลิดหน่อยนะ
Welbeck who gets the shot in. It was a good first touch, and then he tried to maybe surprise the goalkeeper Lopez into getting a quick draw shot away. He's dropped deep a lot in the game so far, but he's the most advanced there as he gets it from Ansu Fati. He's looking down too much. I know it's a striker's instinct sometimes to not really look at the goal. He can get a shot.
ไบรตันวันนี้ก็แปลกๆนะเพื่อนๆโอกาสยิงยังไม่มีเลย
It's probably the first time they've actually played through Marseille, isn't it? There's a couple of half-hearted challenges.
ยิงโอ้โหโรเบกยิงข้ามคานโอ้โหวาซูฟาตินะครับจ่ายมาให้เวอร์เบกสวยจัด
So that's a decent one, but Marseille straight back on the attack. Yeah, Correa rides the challenge of Veltman, I think it was. The Dutchman did get a tackle in and it's rebounded off the shins of the Argentine and out for a Brighton Koga. Correa is one of many transfers that Marseille brought in over the summer. They spent 72 million euros, quite a fair bit for Liga, and they did bring back in 41 million, albeit, but the biggest expenditure was Iliman Ndiaye of Sheffield United, and boy, I suppose you can sense the hole that is left in Sheffield United.
โอ้โหเฮ้ยไม่รู้ตั้งเตะของไบรตันนะครับ
provided in their promotion campaign in the Championship. He hasn't really managed to get in this game so far, though. The goals have come from Mbemba and Vertu as we have gone beyond the
Europa.
He is now with Ndiaye one-on-one with Lamptey. Does well to get past the Brighton fullback, cuts it back to the edge of the area for Rongier.
สวัสดีนะครับเพื่อนๆ11คนดูนะครับเข้ามาแล้วฝากกดไลค์กดแชร์กดติดตามให้หน่อยนะครับแล้วก็ใครจะซัพพอร์ตช่องนะครับเป็น QR Code ที่ขึ้นอยู่ทางหน้าจอได้เลยนะครับเพื่อนๆ
Stay with Matoma, sends it forward for Lamptey, and a good tackle again there. This time from Ndiaye from behind on Lamptey, and that latest Brighton attack.
ยิงโอ้โหแม่งแต่ละลูกของมักเซยแม่งวันนี้น่ากลัวจริงว่ะเพื่อนมิโตมะโอ้โหมิโตมะวันนี้ไม่ผ่านเลยว่ะเพื่อนๆอ๋อแลมตี้ไปต่อโอ้โหดูดิครับเพื่อนๆสวัสดีครับพี่สักกลินโอ้โหครึ่งชั่วโมงนะครับเป็นมักเซยนะครับนำ2-0เปิดขึ้นไป
I think De Zerbi really frustrated, particularly because, as you've said, they've conceded so many goals so far this season. Incidentally, in the Premier League alone, they've conceded 14. Only the bottom 3, as it stands in the Premier League, have conceded more. And yet Brighton are in 6th.
Yeah, I mean, obviously that's going to be skewed by
เล่นยากนะมึงฟานเฮเกอร์
still.
ครับอยู่ที่ลิดดังเปิดไปให้
AK Athens were quite defensive in that game.
ดาฮูช
Scored 3 goals.
ไปต่อครับ
Brighton just switch off or make a mistake. Of course, Brighton's 2 goals.
พอลิมาส นี่ครับปลุกไม่ได้ครับคืนมาที่ดังเหมือนเดิม
Obviously needed VAR, so they were just struggling at both ends of the pitch.
ลืมนะครับเพื่อนๆเข้ามาแล้วฝากกดไลค์ให้หน่อยวันนี้ขอสัก 20-30 ไลค์นะครับ
They've been up against that.
ฝากหน่อยนะฝากพี่ๆเพื่อนๆนะครับคนที่ยังไม่ได้กดถูกใจนะฝากกดถูกใจให้หน่อย
I think they made a better start, but still safe. And they've just scored 2 goals.
ไบรตันมาได้แค่นี้แหละดูฟอร์มแผ่วนะไบรตัน
Sometimes you wonder
วันนี้เล่นไม่ออกเลยอะเพื่อน
trouble, then they
ๆพี่ๆครับ ดูเล่นไม่ออกมากๆเลย
looking to
สำหรับไบรตันเนี่ย
particularly down Lamptey's side, who does like to bomb forward, but they just get caught napping a little bit because, as I say, Brighton aren't in.
เดี๋ยวเพื่อนๆดูกองเชียร์หมักเซยดิแม่งโคตรเถื่อนเลยอะ
When they don't have the ball is,
จะได้เลยอะ
you know, I'm struggling to work out how it's happened so often.
Yeah, some changes maybe needed at half time. We're only about 12 or so minutes from that as Dunk sends it long. The pace of Matoma may get there, but quick as a flash is Lopez. Diving header from the goalkeeper and it goes out for a throw and right by the corner flag. He'll have to race back to his goal line as I think Matoma wanted to throw this back in rather quickly. The 2 goals that you mentioned they scored in the opening match day, they were scored by João Pedro, weren't they? And he's on the bench. I mean, they were penalties, but it's a brace nonetheless.
ใช่พี่พูดอีกก็ถูกอีกอะประสบการณ์ยังต้องค่อยๆไปค่อยๆไต่เต้าไปเรื่อยๆ
Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang also scored a brace in the first match in that 3-3 draw against Ajax. He hasn't really had too many opportunities yet. But Marseille have had the lion's share of the shots. They've had 7 compared to Brighton's 1, 3 on target with 2 of those ending in goals. Brighton haven't managed to test Paul Lopez yet. And from what we saw in the early days, that poor pass in the end.
หวดแม่งเลย
There is an avenue
เอ้า
to exploit that for Brighton.
อะไรวะ
They haven't been able to put too much pressure on the Marseille defence, and maybe they should continue to do that. To do so, I should say. But elsewhere, Marseille are coming forward once again, trying to get third as the long strike comes in from Amin Harit. Plenty of power behind it. It's the 4th shot on target. It was going to go into the roof of the net. This time, Jason Steele knew he had to make the save compared to that free kick from Harit earlier on. Plenty of power in it, but not enough precision because I think it goes more straight at
แล้วแม่ง
Yeah, I'd argue it's
โค้ดของไอ้มักเซยอะเพื่อนๆแม่งเป็นกัตตุโซ่ด้วยโหจอมโหดเลยอะ
That's them. Lewis Dunk makes a challenge and
เอายิงเรียบร้อยโอ้โหปัด
surprising.
โอ้โหสเกล
The right has got them 2 goals.
โอ้ยิงอย่างเนียนอะใครวะ
Onto his left foot. He's still with Harry.
เบอร์ 11
Pokes it towards the far post. I think
โอ้โหฮาริกเหรอโอ้ยิงแม่งเต็มข้อจริงๆอ่ะเพื่อนๆทิศทางดีแล้วอ่ะ
and all of a sudden they're stretched, Brighton. I mean, then of course Harrit's got
โอ้โหแล้วบอลสายด้วย
25 yards out. Nobody's tackling him. So Grosson
ดีไม่โดนประตูที่3ครับงานนี้
That's not a great pass back to us. Steele, who has to take it on the chest. Now he's under pressure, but Brighton do play that particularly well most of the time.
ล้ำหน้า
In around their own box, but I don't know whether it's just a hangover from 6-1. They just look a little bit weak at the back.
ล้ำตรงไหนวะ
They're exploiting it.
Yeah, well, that 6-1 defeat was the heaviest defeat in over a decade for Brighton, and well, about a decade ago. They would have been well further below the English pyramid.
เนี่ยเพื่อนๆวันนี้ดูล้นมากเลยไบรตันอ่ะ
Heavy defeat for them.
ต่อเกมยังไม่ค่อยได้เลย
They're on the ball at the back at the moment with
แม้ในพรีเมียร์เนี่ยมึงเก่งจริงเลยนะไบรตันเนี่ย
have gone Marseille 2, Brighton 0, independent off.
แต่นี่ดูอ่อนแอมากเลย
Around the corner for Dahoud. They get it towards the halfway line, but with some good defending there on the far side from Murillo, Brighton have to go back once more. Then Mbembe
อย่างว่ามันอาจจะหมดกำลังใจด้วย
forward from Dunk.
โดยตั้มวิลล่ายิงไป6-7 เมตรอ่ะ
Brighton's final third, he checks back and sends it further towards their own goal with Klaus. A few 1-2s between the two of them. I'm sure they'll be confident after what's been a positive start for them. Hasn't really been the most positive of starts for Gennaro Gattuso. After that 3-3 draw away to
บุกไม่ขึ้นเลยเพื่อนๆไบรตันอ่ะ
removed himself
ต้องค่อยๆต่อบอลไปเรื่อยๆอย่างเดียวเลย
following league and games, albeit away from home against Monaco and Paris Saint-Germain. Get 2 more tough matches. But they've responded well in this Europa League tie. They've got to be careful as Brighton want to get a goal on the scoreboard themselves. But Mbembe once again good interception from the man who scored the opener. 19 minutes in, it was only a minute later that Jordan Vertu got the second. Roberto De Zerbi sat down on his bench at the moment talking alongside his staff. Certainly will be
เอ
frustrated
อ
with a lot of elements of what
เอ้า
he's
ดัง โอเคยังได้อยู่
Van Hecke coming
ดังครับ
forward on
ต่อย
the
ให้
right.
มิโตมะไม่ทันอีกแล้วดูเดี๋ยวเพื่อน
In an attacking position, but they have to go wide with plenty of Marseille players in the box as Solly March gets a ball in.
เอ็มเบมบ้าวันนี้ก็เล่นโคตรดีนะเพื่อนเบอร์ 99 ปิดมิโตมะยังสบายเลย
In the game so far and the stats, Rob, you just get the sense that they do have to make the most of these set pieces.
อันสุฟาติ
There was a free kick early on from Solly March, wasn't there? That could have been a handball. They went to check it. It wasn't.
สวยเอา
But it was a delivery enough.
อยู่ที่เนนี่เวลเบกเอาไง
They need to continue that.
Yeah, I mean, loose
เวสแมนเปิดโอ้โหโอเคยังได้ลูกเตะมุมเว้ย
But yeah, get it in the box, test them. Delivery is away towards the far post, towards the penalty spot rather. But he's backpedaling, Dunk. He's not going to score from there. I don't know if he's trying to, but it's a looping header that's gone over the bar. That's a free header.
Oh.
So, if anything, get it into the box. Maybe Marseille a little bit suspect to crossing situations. But, I mean, the balance of play, they've done nothing, Brighton. That front, I mean, I've got to call it a front six because they're not doing much defending. But they're not getting involved. They're not stringing passes.
อะไรวะวันนี้ไบรตันมันดูเป็นยังไงวะเนี่ยดูเอื่อยๆเชื่อช้ามากเลยเพื่อนๆสำหรับไบรตันนะสวัสดีนะครับเพื่อนๆทุกคนนะครับเข้ามาแล้วรบกวนฝากกดถูกใจนะครับวันนี้ขอสัก 20-30 ไลค์นะครับเพื่อนๆยิ่งเพื่อนกดถูกใจเยอะมันยิ่งไปเด้งหน้าฟีดของเพื่อนๆท่านอื่นนะครับจะได้เข้ามาดูกันเยอะๆสนุกสนานนะครับมีอะไรมาพูดคุยกันในแชทได้เลยนะครับเพื่อนๆพี่ๆทั้งหลายแล้วก็ใครจะซัพพอร์ตนะครับเป็นโดยตรงเลยครับเพื่อนๆเข้าบัญชีของผมเองเป็น QR code นะครับที่ขึ้นอยู่ทางหน้าจอแล้วก็เลขบัญชี หรือถ้าไม่สะดวกก็จะเป็นเลขบัญชีพร้อมเพย์นะครับแล้วก็ชื่อผมโดยตรงได้เลยนะครับขอบคุณครับแลมตี้นะครับจะเป็นคนทุ่มแลมตี้ทุ่มดิสวยโอ้โหฟาติวันนี้ฟาติกูยังเล่นไม่ออกเลยอักเสยนี่ก็รอสวนนึงเดียวไม่ต้องพูดอะไรมากมันไม่รีบอยู่แล้วละหมักเซยมันนำ2-0แล้วมันจะไปรีบทำไมล่ะใช่ไหม
Matoma is coming forward now, rides the challenge of Rongier, but then it's a heavy touch. He does win it back to his credit on the edge of the area. Ansu Fati wants to get there as well, but it's cleared by Marseille. Only for a Solly March, a heavy chest from him and Vertu can send it as far forward as possible. Van Hecke's under some pressure from his fellow number 29, Illiman and Day, but Brighton do enough to win that duel, and they will try and come forward once more.
มามิโตมะไปมิโตมะโอ้โหดูดิครับเพื่อนๆผู้เล่นหมักเซยโอ้โห 4-5 คนอ่ะมันจะไปยังไงอ่ะโอ้โหดูดิครับหมักเซยหวดมาเลยอ้าวแก้สวยบอลอยู่ที่ลิงดัง5 นาทีสุดท้ายนะครับเพื่อนๆพี่ของครึ่งแรก5 นาทีดาวลุสชื่อเบอร์ 8ของไบรตันนะครับดาวฮุสไป5 นาทีเว้ยเอาสักลูกก่อนเว้ยตีไข่แตกให้ได้ก่อนครึ่งหลังมันจะได้ทึดเหิมๆหน่อยไบรตันบุกไม่ขึ้นเลยว่าฝั่งซ้ายอ่ะของไบรตันน่ะเพื่อนๆทั้งมิโตมะดาวฮูดแลมตี้3 วันนี้ดูเล่นไม่ออกเลยวันเนี้ยผิดฟอร์มจัด
Marseille can clear it once more, but once again not too convincingly. Good ball over the top from Tahoud towards Ansu Fati. What a header that is! But equally, what a save from Pau Lopez. It's the first time that the Spaniard has had to be tested, and it's the first real bit of quality going forward from Roberto De Zerbi's men.
ไอเบอร์เบกไปเฮ้ยโธ่อะไรวะ
a lot of height on him.
จับบอลไม่ได้เรื่องเลย เนี่ยต้องเอาสักลูกก่อนนะเพื่อนๆคือหลังเล่นง่ายขึ้นเยอะเลยอะเอามงเรียบร้อยโอ้โหปัดได้ไงวะเฮ้ยใครวะโลเปสโอ้โหซูฟาติมงโอ้โหเพื่อนๆปัดได้ไงวะโอ้ยจะปัดโคตรยากเลยอะแม่งกระโดดมาปัดได้อะเนี่ยบอลมันกำลังจะโค้งโอ้โหมงนี่มันโคตรซูเปอร์เซฟเลยเนี่ย
It's a good save, but good header as well. Good play all round.
Yeah, good play around. I mean, Dahoud's got a little bit of time and space, and of course he's picked out the right pass. And I think the time.
เนี่ยเพื่อนไม่ขึ้นจริงๆถึงจังหวะสุดท้ายก็ยังทำอะไรไม่ได้มากๆเลยอะไบรตันเนี่ยโอ้โหแต่ลูกนี้นะมงของอัสซูฟาติโอ้โหบอลมันกำลังจะโค้งเข้าเลยอะแต่แม่งโลเปสนะแม่งพุ่งเซฟได้เฉยเลยอะ
tips from Lopez. It's taken a while. They haven't had that much possession in and around that sort of area.
ทำยังไง
Campaign in Europe
เนาะ
and maybe getting the better of them. They have lost 3 of the last 4 matches in all competitions since winning against Manchester United.
โอ้โห เอ้า
as I mentioned, and losing at the moment.
เนี่ยผู้เล่นไบรตันอะไรกันวะ
In the south of France with only a minute left of the original first 45. I wonder how many minutes will be added on. There was that VAR check for a minute or two, which ultimately came to nothing in the end. Solly March and Maria involved in a 50-50 there. March, I think, getting off the worst of those two as Maria's back on his feet with Marseille now on this opposite flank towards slowing the pace down though once more. So Brighton
โอ้ยต่อบอลดีเว้ยเพื่อนๆแคตูโซมันทำบอลหนีได้ป่ะจอมโหดเนี่ยจอมโหดแห่งอิตาลีเนี่ยเพื่อนๆหรือว่าเอซิมิลาน
Now towards Joaquin Correa once more. The Argentines slowing the pace down again as they make their way more towards the corner of the pitch. Now playing it in field though towards Aubameyang. We haven't seen enough of him in the game so far. Klaus, was he trying to dink that over or continue his run and take on the Brighton defence? In the end, neither of them worked out and he went straight into the gloves.
เฮ้ยโอ้โหหลอกสวยจัดไปครับ
into the Marseille half. Has to check back though as Rongier gets his body in front of the ball. Only the 2 minutes added on by the 4th official. We see a real incentive in the Premier League, don't we, to add as many minutes on for every stoppage when it comes and goes. As I think Welbeck kept his run on side as he gets it into the box, gets the shot in. The flag does stay down, and it's a good save from Paul Lopez in the end. It needed to be made. I think Ansu Fati be really frustrated there because he's made the run as well. He could have had it squared to him by the ex-Arsenal attack.
ดูเดี๋ยวเพื่อน
Welbeck went for goal himself.
บุกไม่ขึ้นเลยแอมตี้โอ้ใช้เวลา2 นาทีเองครับครึ่งแรกโอ้โหอะไรวะนานิวเวกทำไมมีโอกาสไม่จ่ายให้เพื่อนโอ้โหสาพลาดแล้วอ่ะผู้เล่นของมักเซยอ่ะมาอีกแล้วทดเวลา2 นาทีโอเลียยิงโอ้โหโอ้โห
Yeah, I think it was Klaus who's just a little bit behind his defensive teammates playing him on. I mean, he is on. It's a nice pass from Veltman to find him.
เนี่ยไม่ยอมส่งเพื่อนๆโอ้โห
He's in front of goal as keeper to beat. I think if strikers are going to turn down those opportunities, you'd be a little bit worried. Here come Brighton again.
Yeah, great into the half for Brighton. Solly March gets a shot in now as well, and that just goes past the post. But they're finding these spaces amongst the Marseille defence. It's a bit late in the half now. Really, they could have done this about 10 or 15 minutes earlier when Marseille went quickly 2-0 up. But it's a positive sign for Roberto De Zerbi's men, as that could likely have been the last action of the first half. An important 15 minutes for the Italian.
เอาไปมาร์ทลงแล้วยิงโอ้โหอะไรวะไม่ส่งวะโอ้เพื่อนมันมีโอกาสแล้วว่าข้างหน้ายืนอยู่2 คนน่ะ
For the half-time whistle, it was a quick-fire double by Marseille thanks to Chancel Mbemba and Jordan Vertu. There was a chance for Brighton to have a penalty, which was in the end shrugged off by the referee. They've had good opportunities towards the half-time whistle to try and halve the deficit, but they haven't got their goal yet. This free-scoring Brighton side, it does arrive at half-time as Marseille 2, Brighton Hove Albion 0.
เรียบร้อยครับเพื่อนๆจบครึ่งแรกนะครับเป็นโอลิมปิกมักเซยนะครับนำไบรตันอยู่2-0นะครับมักเซยนะครับได้ในนาทีที่19นะครับจากเบเบบ้านะครับแล้วก็เวเลอาครับนาทีที่20ทำให้มักเซยขึ้นนำไปได้นะครับ2-0นะครับเดี๋ยวเราต้องดูนะว่าสำหรับไบรตันนะจะแก้เกมอย่างไรนะเวลเบกอันซูฟาติมิโตมะหรือซอลลี่มาร์กนี่วันนี้ยังเล่นไม่ออกเลยนะทั้ง3-4คนเนี่ย
Half time at the Stade Velodrome. It's Marseille 2 at Brighton 0. Marseille in control. 2 goals in a minute. In the 19th minute, down the right-hand side, Clausen and Day combined and
ไปต่อ
from around about the penalty spot. And just a minute later, after a dunk howler.
เดี๋ยวเรารอสักแป๊บนะครับตอนนี้ช่วงพักครึ่งนะสวัสดีนะครับพี่ๆเพื่อนๆนะครับเข้ามาแล้วฝากกดไลค์กดแชร์กดติดตามให้หน่อยนะครับพี่ๆเพื่อนๆเดี๋ยววันเพื่อนๆนะครับวันอาทิตย์นี่มีบิ๊กแมตช์นะทั้งอาร์เซนอลแมนซิตี้เจอกันนี่โหคงสนุกน่าดูครับเพื่อนๆไม่มีเควินเดอร์บอยด้วยโอ้สบายใจเอาไงรอสักแป๊บนะครับเพื่อนๆเดี๋ยวเรารอสักแป๊บหนึ่งดื่มน้ำดื่มท่ากันให้เรียบร้อยนะอัตราการของเดี๋ยวเราดูเปิดอัตราการของบอลนี้ก็ไบรตัน55นะมักเซย45โอกาสยิงของมักเซยนะครับ10ครั้งของไบรตันแค่5ครั้งเท่านั้นของมักเซยนะครับเข้ากรอบ4ครั้งนะครับแล้วก็หลุดกรอบอีก6ส่วนไบรตันนะครับมีโอกาสยิงทั้งหมด5ครั้งนะเข้ากรอบ2แล้วก็โดนMarseille control 2 goals in a minute in the 19th minute down the right hand side Clausen and Day combined and Bemmer slotted home from around about the penalty spot and just a minute later after a dunk howler ไบรตันไบรตันไม่รู้จะแก้ไง no chance in Marseille on top Brighton took a while to get going but 2 great saves from Lopez late on denied Fati and Welbeck at the break it's Marseille 2 Brighton 0 half time at the Stade Velodrome it's Marseille 2 at Brighton 0 Marseille control 2 goals in a minute in the 19th minute down the right hand side Clausen and Day combined and เราดูนะครับเพื่อนพี่ครึ่งหลังเข้าห้องน้ำห้องท่ากันเรียบร้อยครึ่งหลังวันนี้อาจจะเป็นคู่เดียวนะครับเพื่อนคู่5 ทุ่มเนี่ยที2ไม่น่าจะไหวเพราะเมื่อคืนบอลจะจบก็โอ้โหรอไปนานมากครับเพื่อนจบก็รอไปเกือบตี 5กว่าจะได้นอนใช่ไหมฮะเมื่อเช้าตื่น7 โมงเช้าโอ้ยนุกมากอย่าลืมนะเพื่อนๆเข้ามาแล้วฝากกดไลค์กดแชร์กดติดตามให้หน่อยนะใครจะซัพพอร์ตนะครับเลขบัญชีที่อยู่ด้านล่างแล้วก็ QR Code นะครับฝากด้วยซัพพอร์ตมาเยอะๆนะครับเป็นท่อนำเลี้ยงของพวกของช่องผมนะครับแล้วเงินที่เพื่อนๆโดเนทมานี่จะใช้ให้คุ้มค่าทุกบาททุกสตางค์เลยนะครับเพื่อนขอสัก20ไลค์นะเพื่อนๆดูอยู่ประมาณ10 กว่าคนนะขอสัก20ไลค์ฝากพี่ๆเพื่อนๆด้วยช่วยกดไลค์กดถูกใจให้หน่อยเด้อรู้เรื่องบ่เด้อรู้เรื่องบ่ฮู้บ่
two goals in a minute in the 19th minute. Down the right-hand side, Clausen and Day combined, and Bemmer slotted home from around about the penalty spot. And just a minute later, after a dunk howler, it was Veretout the beneficiary this time, giving Steele no chance, and Marseille on top. Brighton took a while to get going, but two great saves from Lopez late on denied Fati and Welbeck. At the break, it's Marseille 2, Brighton 0. Off time at the Stade Velodrome, it's Marseille 2 at Brighton 0. Marseille in control, 2 goals in a minute in the 19th minute. Down the right-hand side, Clausen and Day combined.
ลืมนะครับเพื่อนๆรอสักแป๊บนะครับเดี๋ยวบอลใกล้จะมาแล้ว
Later, after a dunk howler, it was Veretout the beneficiary this time, giving Steele no chance, and Marseille on top. Brighton took a while to get going, but two great saves from Lopez.
นี่เวสต์แฮมนี่มาในฐานะไอ้นี่เหรอครับโอ้ยเวสต์แฮมลูคัสปาเกต้านะยิงด้วยมาในฐานะแชมป์ยูฟ่าคอนเฟอเรนซ์ใช่ไหมเลยได้มาเล่นยูโรปาเวสต์แฮม
In the 19th minute, down the right-hand side, Clausen and Day combined, and Bemmer slotted home from around about the penalty spot. And just a minute later, after a dunk howler, it was Veretout the beneficiary this time, giving Steele no chance, and Marseille on top. Brighton took a while to get going, but two great saves from Lopez late on denied Fati and Welbeck. At the break, it's Marseille 2, Brighton 0. Off time at the Stade Velodrome, it's Marseille 2 at Brighton. Marseille in control, 2 goals in a minute in the 19th.
ลืมนะเพื่อนๆมีอะไรมาพูดคุยกันในแชทได้ครับจะได้ไม่เหงาผมเนี่ยจะได้ไม่เหงาพูดตามตรงเลยจะได้ไม่ง่วงนอนน้อยแต่นอนนะนะวันนี้ไปต่อไปขี่ก็ไปอบรมในห้องก็นั่งหลับ
Brighton 0. Off time at the Stade Velodrome, it's Marseille 2 at Brighton 0. Marseille in control, 2 goals in a minute in the 19th minute. Down the right-hand side, Clausen and Day combined, and Bemmer slotted home from around about the penalty spot. And just a minute later, after a dunk howler, it was Veretout the beneficiary this time, giving Steele no chance, and Marseille on top. Brighton took a while to get going.
โอ้แต่ลูกยิงลูกเนี้ยโหโคตรน่าเข้าเลยนะเพื่อนๆของนี่มักเซยครับที่ยิงไกล
Off time at the Stade Velodrome, it's Marseille 2 at Brighton 0. Marseille in control, 2 goals in a minute in the 19th minute. Down the right-hand side, Clausen and Day combined, and Bemmer slotted home from around about the penalty spot. And just a minute later, after a dunk howler, it was Veretout the beneficiary this time, giving Steele no chance, and Marseille on top. Brighton took a while to get going, but two great saves from Lopez late on denied Fati and Welbeck. At the break, it's Marseille 2, Brighton 0. Off time at the Stade Velodrome, it's Marseille 2 at Brighton 0. Marseille in control, 2 goals in a minute in the 19th minute. Down the right-hand side, Clausen and Day combined, and Bemmer slotted home from around about the penalty spot. And just a minute later, after a dunk howler,
รอสักแป๊บนะเพื่อนเดี๋ยวผมขอย้ายไปเอาน้ำ
this time, giving Steele no chance, and Marseille on top. Brighton took a while to get going, but two great saves from Lopez late on denied Fati and Welbeck. At the break, it's Marseille 2, Brighton 0. Off time at the Stade Velodrome, it's Marseille 2 at Brighton 0. Marseille in control, 2 goals in a minute in the 19th minute. Down the right-hand side, Clausen and Day combined, and Bemmer slotted home from around about the penalty spot. And just a minute later, after a dunk howler, it was Veretout the beneficiary this time, giving Steele no chance, and Marseille on top. Brighton took a while to get going, but two great saves from Lopez late on denied Fati and Welbeck. At the break, it's Marseille 2, Brighton 0. Off time at the Stade Velodrome, it's Marseille 2 at Brighton 0. Marseille in control, 2 goals in a minute in the 19th minute. Down the right-hand side, Clausen and Day combined, and Bemmer slotted home from around about the penalty spot. And just a minute later, after a dunk howler, it was Veretout the beneficiary this time, giving Steele no chance, and Marseille on top. Brighton took a while to get going, but two great saves from Lopez late on denied Fati and Welbeck. At the break, it's Marseille 2, Brighton 0. Off time at the Stade Velodrome, it's Marseille 2 at Brighton 0. Marseille in control, 2 goals in a minute in the 19th minute. Down the right-hand side, Clausen and Day combined, and Bemmer slotted home from around about the penalty spot. And just a minute later, after a dunk howler, it was Veretout the beneficiary this time, giving Steele no chance, and Marseille on top. Brighton took a while to get going, but two great saves from Lopez late on denied Fati and Welbeck. At the break, it's Marseille 2, Brighton 0. Off time at the Stade Velodrome, it's Marseille 2 at Brighton 0. Marseille in control, 2 goals in a minute in the 19th minute. Down the right-hand side, Clausen and Day combined, and Bemmer slotted home from around about the penalty spot. And just a minute later, after a dunk howler, it was Veretout the beneficiary this time, giving Steele no chance, and Marseille on top. Brighton took a while to get going, but two great saves from Lopez late on denied Fati and Welbeck.
ครับเพื่อน
It's Marseille 2, Brighton 0. Off time at the Stade Velodrome, it's Marseille 2 at Brighton 0. Marseille in
ๆรอสักแป๊บ
control,
นะครับทำไมมันหลุด ลุดแลพักนานๆวะทำไมมันพักนานจังวะ
And just a minute later, after a dunk howler, it was Veretout the beneficiary this time, giving Steele no chance and Marseille on top. Brighton took a while to get going, but two great saves from Lopez late on denied Fatty and well.
ไม่ใช่ว่าไบรตันไม่มีโอกาสนะเพื่อนๆในครึ่งแรกเนี่ยไบรตันมีโอกาสนะแต่ไบรตันไม่คมเองในแดนหน้าไม่พยายามเน้นอ่ะในจังหวะยิงอ่ะบางทีก็มีโอกาสหลุดโล่งๆไงครับไม่จ่ายให้เพื่อน
After a dunk howler, it was Veretout the beneficiary this time, giving Steele no chance and Marseille on top. Brighton took a while to get going, but two great saves from Lopez late on denied Fatty.
ว่าไบรตันดูวันนี้ดูประมาทในแดนหน้าขึ้นเยอะเลยอะไบรตันเนี่ยครับเพื่อนๆฝากซับสไครป์ฝากกดติดตามให้ด้วยนะครับอย่าลืมนะครับใครจะซัพพอร์ตช่องนะครับเป็นQR Code นะครับที่อยู่ทางหน้าจอได้เลยนะครับช่วยกันซัพพอร์ตเข้ามาเป็นทอดน้ำเลี้ยงนะครับจะได้มีแรงกายแรงใจนะครับในการทำคอนเทนต์ต่อไปนะครับ
Brighton 0. Off time at the stand Velodrome, it's Marseille 2 at Brighton 0. Marseille in control, 2 goals in a minute. In the 19th minute, down the right hand side, Clausen and Day combined, and Bemmer slotted home from around about the penalty spot. And just a minute later, after a dunk howler, it was Veretout the beneficiary this time, giving Steele no chance and Marseille on top. Brighton took a while to get going, but two great saves from Lopez late on denied Fatty and Welbeck at the break. It's Marseille 2, Brighton 0. Off time at the stand Velodrome, it's Marseille 2 at Brighton 0. Marseille in control, 2 goals in a minute. In the 19th minute, down the right hand side, Clausen and Day combined, and Bemmer slotted home from around about the penalty spot. And just a minute later, after a dunk howler, it was Veretout the beneficiary this time, giving Steele no chance and Marseille on top. Brighton took a while to get going, but two great saves from Lopez late on.
สนามสวยเหมือนกันนะเพื่อนๆสนามไอโอลิมปิกปักเซยเนี่ยสนามแบบสวยเลยค่อนข้างที่จะสวยเนี่ย
Brighton 0. Marseille in control, 2 goals in a minute. In the 19th minute, down the right hand side, Clausen and Day combined, and Bemmer slotted home from around about the penalty spot. And just a minute later, after a dunk howler, it was Veretout the beneficiary this time, giving Steele no chance and Marseille on top. Brighton took a while to get going, but two great saves from Lopez late on denied Fatty and Welbeck at the break. It's Marseille 2, Brighton 0. Off time at the stand Velodrome, it's Marseille 2 at Brighton 0. Marseille in control, 2 goals in a minute. In the 19th minute, down the right hand side, Clausen and Day combined, and Bemmer slotted home from around about the penalty spot. And just a minute later, after a dunk howler, it was Veretout the beneficiary this time, giving Steele no chance and Marseille on top. Brighton took a while to get going, but two great saves from Lopez late on denied Fatty and Welbeck at the break. It's Marseille 2, Brighton 0. Off time at the stand Velodrome, it's Marseille 2 at Brighton 0. Marseille in control, 2 goals in a minute. In the 19th minute, down the right hand side, Clausen and Day combined, and Bemmer slotted home from around about the penalty spot. And just a minute later, after a dunk howler, it was Veretout the beneficiary this time, giving Steele no chance and Marseille on top. Brighton took a while to get going, but two great saves from Lopez late on denied Fatty and Welbeck at the break. It's Marseille 2, Brighton 0. Off time at the stand Velodrome, it's Marseille 2 at Brighton 0. Marseille in control, 2 goals in a minute. In the 19th minute, down the right hand side, Clausen and Day combined, and Bemmer slotted home from around about the penalty spot. And just a minute later, after a dunk howler, it was Veretout the beneficiary this time, giving Steele no chance and Marseille on top. Brighton took a while to get going, but
รอสักแป๊บนะครับเพื่อนๆตอนนี้นะครับเข้ามาแล้วนะฝากกดไลค์กดแชร์กดติดตามไปหน่อยแต่วันนี้รู้สึกว่าทำไมมันพักนานผิดปกติวะเพื่อนๆ
Marseille 2 at Brighton 0. Marseille in control, 2 goals in a minute. In the 19th minute, down the right hand side, Clausen and Day combined, and Bemmer slotted home from around about.
มันพักนานๆวะ
Just a minute later, after a dunk
เอาละครับมาแล้วนักเตะเดินลงสู่สนามแล้ว
no chance and Marseille on top. Brighton took a while to get going, but two great saves from Lopez late on denied Fatty and Welbeck at the break.
มาแล้วนักเตะนี่ครับดีซาบี้ครับเดินหน้าเครียดมาเลย
It's Marseille 2 at Brighton 0. Marseille in control, 2 goals in a minute. In the 19th minute, down the right hand side, Clausen and Day combined, and Bemmer slotted home from around about the penalty spot. And just a minute later, after a dunk
ไบรตัน
Veretout the beneficiary this time, giving Steele no chance.
ท่านบอกจะแก้เกมยังไงดีวันนี้
While to get going, but two great saves from Lopez late late on, denied Fatty and Welbeck at the break.
แกะยากแกะเย็นจริงๆเลยครับเพื่อนๆเฉาก๊วยเนี่ย
Time at the stand Velodrome, it's Marseille
บอกว่ากิน
2,
แก้ร้อนใน
Brighton
กระหาย
nil.
น้ำ
Two goals
เฉา
in a
ก๊วย
minute in the 19th minute down the right-hand side. Clausen
พี่ธีรพัฒน์บอกว่าพี่คิดว่าลิเวอร์พูลจะแพ้ไหมไม่น่าแพ้หรอกครับคืนนี้โอ้ลิเวอร์พูลฟอร์มดีนะครับเพื่อนๆเจออะไรด้วยเจอทีมอะไรยังไม่รู้เลยเนี่ยดูนิยงเซ็งเร็ว
Half time at the stand Velodrome, it's Marseille 2 at Brighton nil. Well, a warm welcome back to our coverage of the action taking place at the stand Velodrome. Marseille in control at the break. They're probably the better of the two sides throughout, but Brighton did have a couple of pretty good chances late on. Lopez in the Marseille goal, keeping both Fatty and Welbeck out. Could have easily got at least a goal, but of course those saves mean that Brighton have it.
เป็นทีมจากเบลเยียมนะครับทีมที่ลิเวอร์พูลเจอน่าจะไม่แพ้นะครับเพื่อนๆแต่ถ้าแฟนบอลชาวดูไบก็อาการหนักอยู่พอสมควรอ่ะคือว่าก็ยากอ่ะ2 ลูกแต่ก็ไม่แน่นะครับเพื่อนๆลิเวอร์พูลฟอร์มดีช่วงเนี้ยฟอร์มแบบฟอร์มดีมากๆเลยฝากเพื่อนด้วยนะครับเข้ามาแล้วนะฝากกดไลค์กดแชร์กดติดตามให้หน่อยขอสัก20 ไลค์ 30 ไลค์นะครับเพื่อนๆช่วยกันดันให้ถึงหน่อยขอ20 ไลค์ 30 ไลค์นะ
And they needed to make the most of one really to go into the half as maybe the more motivated of the two teams, but instead the 2-goal deficit remains. And I suspect for that, in that sense, Marseille probably still feel the 2 goals.
ใครล้มไปแล้วครับ
They'll come forward once more. It's Klaus on the overlap from India. He gets a good ball into the back post, headed by Correa. It's blocked. May fall to Aubameyang. His shot is then blocked as well by Van Hekken. March will try.
กินถอกไปแล้วดีนะเพื่อนๆตุ้มคอมากเลย
I think it's another foul in Brighton's favour. But that could have so easily been 3. There's 2 shots in there, but Brighton bodies thrown themselves to it.
ไปเว้ยนี่กัตตุโซ่ก็เพิ่งเข้ามาเหมือนกันเนี่ยเพื่อนๆโอ้โหจับบอลไม่ดีเอ้าถึงไหมโอบายิงโอ้โหติดซอลิมาร์โอเคซอลิมาร์ได้ฟาวครับเพื่อนๆลูกนี้นะโอบาหม่งชงแล้วหม่งให้โอบายิงโอ้โหติดบล็อก
breaking into the box go Marseille on the right hand side. There's a coming together. Matoma, some kind of challenge. I think that was Hadit who's gone down, and he's told to get up by the referee. I presume VAR will take a look. It was more clumsy than anything else. Is he trying to tackle him?
ไบรตันกันนโยบายแบบเดิมนะเพื่อนๆแผนการเล่นชัดเจนมากต่อบอลจากแดนหลังนี่ครับแต่วันนี้ก็พลาดบ่อยพลาดอีกแล้ว
Presumably, this is the referee. He's just had the word in his ear. They've had a little check. His right boot went the ball, stopped it, and then he's continuing to move to the left with the ball on his right, and he runs into Mitoma.
เสียบอลโคตรง่ายเลยวันนี้ไบรตัน
But I don't think Mitoma did an awful lot.
No, it is risky. I think he analysed it well as Ndiaye wants to come forward. Dunk may take no chance. He's gone for a corner. Yeah, he overruns it, Harit, and then he's in the way of the ball and Mitoma. And Mitoma obviously wants to get the ball, but if Harit's throwing his body at the Japanese, then there's going to be contact, and then Harit goes down. I think there could have been referees that would have given that a penalty, and
away.
Been wrong. I think the referee's been spot on in his decisions. He's read that incident well to not give the penalty.
มีเช็ค VAR อะไรวะเช็คโอเวอร์ดูดิครับเพื่อนๆขึ้นหลังมาบักเซยก็บุกต่อนี่ครับได้ลูกทุ่มได้เตะมุมอีกแล้ว
defending it away. Just a reminder of the lineups. As I said, no changes at the break. Marseille, Lopez, Klaus and Bamba, Balerdi, Murillo, Arangier, Veretout, Ndiaye, Hadit, Correa and Aubameyang. Aubameyang's probably been the quietest of the 11 there for Marseille.
เปิดโอ้โหสวนได้ไหมโอ้โหสวนไม่ได้ดูดิครับเพื่อนๆปารีสไม่ใช่ปารีสไบรตันนะครับไม่มีเลยอุ้ยใครเจ็บเหมือนจะเจ็บที่หัวป่ะอุ้ยงานหยาบแล้วไงมีผู้เล่นเจ็บ
Sturmgrass 1 up at Arakau, Czestochowa, Atalanta 2 up at Sporting, and Olympiacos lead at TSC. So a pretty good evening for away sides so far, apart from Marseille, 2-0 up at home to Brighton. I don't think
ผู้เล่นมักเซยนะครับนอนเจ็บอยู่
he always looks frustrated.
น่าจะโอ้โหแล้วเจ็บหูน่าจะหนักด้วยเพื่อน
Potentially going off could be a problem because they've kept the Brighton midfield pretty quiet.
Yeah, I think he's been brilliant attacking wise as well. But you just see a huge ice pack there wrapped around his right thigh. I think that there was already a sub being made. It may have been Azzedine Ounahi, the Moroccan midfielder. Yeah, he's going to be hobbling off here too. There's no chance he's going to continue with that ice pack on. But he's had a great game. He's got a goal. I think he was influential in when Marseille were coming forward. I mean,
โหน่าจะต้องเปลี่ยนตัวเลยนะเพื่อนๆโหยรัดน้ำแข็งเลยอะเบอร์27นะครับ
It's really a very attacking team from Marseille, and it's working out against Brighton. Maybe they're thinking, well, this is a team that concede a lot of goals, so let's throw bodies forward. Ounahi, I mean, he's a big frame for a midfielder. Whether they may shore up a bit more now as the second half is 5 minutes in, and they are 2 goals to the good. Do they play it safer, perhaps, as Brighton were growing into that?
ต้องดูอีกทีนะครับจะเอาใครลงเบอร์8นะครับเพื่อนๆโอนาฮีเหรออ่านถูกพอพี่อ่านผิดขออภัยด้วย
Down that technical area, he's run as much as some of his players. As Marseille get the ball rolling again, and his first touch is to give the ball away, and here is Welbeck for Brighton, feeding it to Fatty, left edge of the Marseille box, but strong challenge from Mbemba, wins it back, and now the break is on the other way with Harriet charging downfield, goes past Lewis Dunk as well. Lamptey gets a challenge in. It's a good one as well. Harriet's appealing, thinks it was a little bit over the top. It looked as though he won the ball, Tariq Lamptey. Is Harriet back on his feet now? No, he's not. He's right.
เอาเว้ยเอาไบตันไปสักลูกหนึ่งเอาไว้เพื่อความมั่นใจโอ้โถไม่ผ่านเลยโอ้เอ็มเบมบ้าวันนี้เล่นดีจัดกดอยู่เลยอ่ะอุ้ยหลอกสวยไปแล้วอุนาฮีว้ายโอ้จับบอลยาวว้ายเลยกู
His ankle does buckle, and he raised his hand straight away. Harriet, see, he wanted the physios on. I mean, they've only just gone off with Veratu, and now they're back on again for Harriet. He's still right.
อุ้ยใครเจ็บอีกแล้ว
He's got 2 physios there holding his right ankle, and he hasn't stopped moving. He's now put the shirt above his face. Lamptey does win the ball. You've got to give him credit for that. It may be the follow through that's painful, but he was another midfielder. I've only just mentioned Veratu in that flat 3. Was working hard in an attacking sense. So too has been Harriet. One of them's just gone off, and if this is a serious one for Harriet, they may have to make another force change in a matter of minutes.
Yeah, looking at a replay, he's got the ball. He's kind of back-heeled the tackle, as it were. So I think the heel has come down on the toes, maybe. I don't think it's a foul, personally. That's not to say Harriet's been hurt. Gantley Freiburg have got an equaliser at home to West Ham. West Ham, of course, have been phenomenal in Europe. What have they won? 14 out of 15. Admittedly, a lot of those were in the Conference League as they won it last season, but that was in contrast to poor league form. But that winning run might come to an end today. Obviously, it's early in the second half. Doesn't look as though the referee is going to do anything more.
จะบอกนะเจ็บอีกแล้วครับผู้เล่นมักเซย
As and when he's got the ball in his hand, Harriet's still on the field. He's walking off now alongside his medical team. He's walking off on his own. He's limping a bit. Might have been a little bit of blood on the sock as well. And the players restarted. So no yellow cards. Referee dropped the ball, and Van Heck took a touch before it hit the floor. Basics, Brighton, basics. As there is a bit of blood on Harriet's sock, but no foul, says that the referee, and Brighton have possession back. Time running down. Of course, this will be a little bit added on stoppage-wise. Only got a couple of minutes at the end of the first half. There haven't been too many stoppages as Lamptey breaks down the left-hand side, gets to the byline. Can he find it past Mitoma? Low in. Should be a goal. It is a goal. Pascal Gross in the right place at the right time. Brighton are back in it. And, well, that was a combination of Mitoma and Lamptey, and it's game on.
It's a fantastic goal, it really is. Lamptey is working so hard on that far side, gets past 1 or 2 Marseille men, but then he has to keep the ball in from going out for a goal kick. He does that brilliantly, finds Mitoma in some space, and then he finds Grosjean acres of space. There's so many Marseille bodies back, and yet They're all ball watching. No one is looking at where Brighton are fluidly coming forward. Gross has made himself available. Fatty's in there as well. Welbeck, of course, too. None of them are being tightly marked. And then Gross is on essentially the penalty spot, and it's fed to him, and he's got a clear sight of goal. It's a tap-in, really. Lopez dives one way, and it's easy for Gross to pick the other corner. The kickoff has been taken immediately as Brighton picked the ball up and wanted to get it back in play. As Dunk, the ball is back in play, and Marseille were coming forward. Teasing cross in. Dunk makes an interception. Could have gone anywhere. Could have gone in his own net. I think it's gone for a corner, has it, as Klaus whipped this one in, and it was a toe in the end from the Brighton captain. But they want to play back underway, but they needed to be careful.
เอาละเพื่อนๆ 2-1 แล้วเว้ยงานเนี้ยสนุกละเหลือลูกเดียวแล้ว
Yeah, 10 minutes gone in the second half. A couple of those minutes maybe will be added on because of the injury to Harry.
เอาละเพื่อนๆ 2-1 แล้วงานนี้
Cross in towards the near post. It's need away really. Taken down on the edge of the box by Matoma. Hooks it over his shoulder. Anywhere will do. Brighton back in the game. And like Ben said, don't want to concede their advantage or their momentum so quickly. Obviously they might risk one or two things the longer the game goes on. But it's a pretty early goal in this second half for them to build from. Haven't made any changes as yet. Can't see that Gross has got a yellow card. Lopez plays a strange ball across the box. It will stay ahead of Welbeck though and does reach Mbemba. Now there's space down the right hand side and Brighton are in trouble again. No, Steele comes out of his area and hammers it downfield. They looked in a little bit of space there. Marseille, they have
ต้องแก้เกมด่วนเลยสำหรับไบรตันน่ะเพื่อนๆวันนี้ดูสู้ไม่ได้เลยนะ
He had to as well because I think it was in the eye on the far side and he would have got there. There was no Brighton defender getting anywhere near the ball, so the keeper had to take matters into his own hands, which he did, and he cleared it over the field. But Marseille have recycled the ball, and now they're in the final third again. Great tackle from Veltman.
โอ้โห
Now he stays down. Will the referee stop it? He won't because it's not a head injury, of course. So now Brighton will come forward, and they've got bodies willing to get on this attack.
Welbeck trying to get beyond Balerdi. There's a tangle of legs really, and Balerdi's gone down. He's going to get the free kick. I think there probably is contact. I think it's entirely accidental. They are still. We've got injuries at both ends of the field now. Marseille at the moment, but yeah, Correa's gone down and stayed down. But that's just the ball-winning challenge. Used to be
ในเกมนี้มันดูเจ็บตัวกันเยอะจังวะ
Ben, but I can't say Olympiacos have got a second, so that's another away side in control. I think Correa will be all right. I think Balerdi will be all right as well.
Yeah, I think he will be. Yeah.
ตกลงได้ไม่ได้เนี่ยไม่น่าจะได้นะครับเพื่อน
But he's going to let it be known to the referee, isn't he, Balerdi? Because they were under pressure there, Marseille. You look at Correa in the opposite penalty area down, and they're all appealing for a free kick. But Brighton want to get on with it, and then they've got bodies forward, so they're going to want to try and win a free kick any way they can, Marseille, which they did. It's a clean tackle from Veltman. Argument for a follow-through. It's nowhere near as bad as the Lamptey one, and that wasn't terrible either. This one really couldn't have been more clean, in my opinion. It's just the collision afterwards between Correa and Veltman.
แต่พูดถึงไบรตันไม่โดนประตูที่3แล้วสามารถที่แบบว่าจะตีใครแตกได้เขาท่านะเพื่อน
Can't remember much that's gone on, barring the goal and these 3 stoppages from the ref. That could have worked into Marseille's favour a bit more had they still attained the 2-goal advantage. But now it's been halved. They probably are going to be panicking a bit more and maybe wanting to slow the game down even further.
Yeah, the referee just placed the ball down where the free kick should be.
อย่าลืมครับเพื่อนๆฝากกด Subscribe ฝากกดติดตามให้ด้วยเด้อขอบคุณหลายๆ
Brighton left at the moment. Matoma's in the left back position, but I think that's just because he's tracking the run of Ndiaye and Klaus. I think Correa wants to come back on the field. He's waiting for the invitation from the referee. Finally, he's got it. So Marseille back to a full complement. It's Brighton in possession in the Marseille half. Diagonal in towards Fatty. It's actually a header won by Klaus, jumping over the Barcelona loanee. Followed clear by Balerdi. Picked up though by Lamptey. And Brighton turning something of a screw in this game. Marseille have looked dangerous on the break, but obviously last-ditch challenges and good ones from Lamptey.
ลูกเดียวเว้ยไบรตันบุกต่อ
Two dangerous-looking attacks. Brighton are starting to monopolise possession, probably for the first time in the contest, and they have the bit between their teeth thanks to Gross's goal that's halved the deficit. That was 5 minutes ago now. and everybody barring Steele is inside the Marseille half. Now Gross, turning provider. Welbeck on the turn, can't quite keep it under control. It's only
แล้วไบรตันก็พยายามครองบอลบุกแบบบุกเลยอ่ะบุกเข้าใส่อ่ะเอาไงก็เอาวะไบรตันบอกเอาไงก็เอาสู้เต็มที่สู้หัดใจต้องทำให้ได้
The Marseille blue Nahi, and it's going to be a goal kick, but maybe Gattuso might think of a change. He certainly looks frustrated, but he has for the opening hour.
Yeah, because
เอาเวอร์เบกโอ้โหเวอร์เบกจะยิงไม่ได้โอ้โหแลมตี้ก็ยิงข้ามคานอีก
brilliant on that far side, the left back. It's not his natural role, is it? But he's making it his own. Brilliant play to get the goal. He fed it to Matoma. Matoma will go down as the assist, but it was really thanks to Lamptey's hard work. And he's got a shot off there. He's sort of peeled inside, hasn't he? Rather than hugging the touchline, which he has been going forward. Otherwise, there's a ball over top towards Aubameyang. Good interception from Dunk. It needed to be made as Aubameyang was ready to pounce and be on one-on-one with Steele, but Steele does pick it up. But yeah, I've liked what I've seen from Lamptey. He's had a lot of long-term injuries, hasn't he? Normally he's on the right side of defence. He's playing on the left, but he's had a good performance from what I've seen.
Yeah, and of course he's looking to get involved. Matoma is here as the ball is played through to him. Good recovery challenge from Mbemba. Stops Matoma getting the
มักเซยก็เอาคืนบ้างเว้ยเอ้ยโอ้โหไม่ถึงโอบาโอ้โหดังช่วยได้เว้ย
But Marseille have now got plenty of bodies back behind the ball. It's with Matoma. Arrows one into the box, headed away by Mbemba. Veltman feeds it out to Solly March, and Solly March really can't quite get there. And on the goal line, he knew he wasn't.
ไม่ถึงมิโตมะอีก
I think he's hooked it away for a throw-in to Marseille rather than a goal kick. But obviously, it's a nearly moment for the Seagulls. And Gattuso looks as though
นี่ดูมิโตมะไม่ได้ลากเรือเลยเพื่อน
Obviously, he's had a couple of injuries. I do think it's Correa actually who's going off for Marseille with Ismail. Watford fans will know all about him getting a chance for the final half an hour or so.
Yeah, it's a good run out for him. He's another of the summer acquisitions. It looked like there may have been another change. Well, I saw Aubameyang come off as well. He looked to the bench. We haven't seen who's come on in place of him as of yet. But we can confirm that Sarr is on the field, the ex-Watford man. It's Vitinha, the Portuguese striker, formerly of Braga, isn't he? He's a like-for-like change in that sense as well. So the 2-1 up Marseille, but they've made two very attacking changes. Correa's gone off for Sarr. Aubameyang has gone off for Vitinha.
โอบาออกเหรอเพื่อนโอบานะครับออกด้วยพักด้วยโอบาอิสมาลาซาเนี่ยต้องถามลิเวอร์พูลนะไอตัวนี้ทำแซกกับลิเวอร์พูลเลยตอนอยู่อะไรวัตฟอร์ดปะที่ทำให้ลิเวอร์พูลไม่ได้แชมป์ไรไม่ได้ไรพ่ายครับเพื่อน
Brighton have bossed the second half. I say bossed it. Apart from the goal, I suppose they're not really creating any other chances. But they've got to start from somewhere. And as I say, they're back in it. Aris Limassol taking control over Rangers. 2-0 now. They lead. And obviously it's not been a great period.
เอาไว้ไบรตันเราต้องเอาให้เต็มที่ไบรตัน
misses his first touch.
ครับ
But is able to get there ahead of well.
สวย
Lopez quite nonchalant in possession.
เมนโอ้โหจ่ายอะไรของมึงวะโอ้โห
Perhaps overplaying the situation. Marseille eventually it's hammered by Mbemba off. Lamptey had a play from Marseille throw, but I think they're just lacking a little bit of control now, Marseille, and I'm not quite sure if they're thinking it's later in the game than it actually is.
Well, they've struggled as well, haven't they? And Gattuso's
เอาโลเปสเปิดเนี่ยเพื่อนไบรตันพยายามไล่บี้ไม่ใช่ว่าไม่เอานะเพื่อนๆสำหรับผู้เล่นไบรตันเนี่ยสู้หัดใจแล้วก็มักเสยก็สู้เหมือนกันครับไม่ให้โดนประตูที่2นะตีเสมอได้เลยอะครับถ้ามักเสยโดนยิงขึ้นมาเนี่ยไบรตันบอกหวานหมูหวานเจี๊ยบ
With Brighton on the halfway line, 64 minutes ticking over at the Stade Velodrome. Independent, unofficial off-tube studio commentary, and Brighton trying to turn it around. 2-0 down at the break. Playing quite well at the moment without that end product. Here's Solly March trying to get on the end of a gross ball, but Mario gets a foot in the way. It is a set piece. Neither side has threaten particularly direct from set pieces, but obviously it does provide an opportunity. Lewis Dunk, Van Heck from the back to add that a little bit of aerial.
แล้วดูไอ้นี่ก็ไม่ค่อยเร่งนะเพื่อน
Gross is stood over it. He's going to be an away swinger this time for Brighton. And it is towards the edge of the 6-yard box, and Van Heck with a bullet header. It's hit the back of a Marseille player, ballooned wide of the post. Van Heck can't believe it. That looked as though it was going to test Lopez, to say the least. It was Matoma.
Unbelievable. And it's goal bound, isn't it? It's such a clean header, so much power on it. Matoma can't get out of the way quick enough. He has given a corner though, but you're right, it's come off of Matoma's head. I'm surprised Marseille aren't complaining more. A white shirt that touched that ball from that corner.
โอ้โห
Yeah, and it's going to be
เย็ดเคหมักเซยเกือบโดนตีเสมอนะเพื่อนๆม่งเต็มข้อเลยไปโดนใครวะโอ้โหเบื่อโดนหลังพวกเดียวกันเองแล้วมั้งน่ะโอ้ยโดนหัวมิโตมะไอ้ห่าโอ้
probably think it's not the worst decision. A long ball over the top. Vittini is one-on-one with Dunk. He turns Dunk. Dunk gets a block in. Straight from the clearing kick, and another mistake at the back. There's still a chance shot deflected wide at the far post. It's trickling towards the corner flag. That will go out for a corner. That's what we've been saying about Brighton defensively. They look a little bit lapse. Ball from that free kick. I mean, that's direct from the free kick, and the striker is taking a shot. Credit to Dunk. It was a fantastic block.
Yeah, and he's the only defender back, and he's the only one that should get credit because no one else got back in time from that corner. As you say, free kick from the Brighton corner, and Lopez takes it quickly, and Vitinha nearly gets his goal not long after coming on. Brighton have made a change now. João Pedro has come on. It's one of two. Dahoud is going to come off and Billy Gilmour on in his place. We haven't seen who was replaced by João Pedro. I would assume it's Danny Welbeck. We'll see that on our off-tube independent feed when we do get it. But it is a corner for Marseille. Nonetheless, Ansu Fati it is in fact. So Welbeck stays on. It's going to be an in-swinger from Marseille towards the back post, cleared by Dunk. Only as far as Rongier, well, I think he's striking it, but it's gone out for a throw-in the end. A bit of an embarrassing one there for the Marseille captain. But your two changes for Brighton: Ansu Fati off for João Pedro, and Dahoud off for Billy Gilmour.
Yeah, but Welbeck was playing behind Ferguson at the weekend. I mean, it didn't work. Obviously, they lost 6-1, but he's sort of played in that.
เป็นลูก
position, number 10 rather.
โอ้โห
So we'll see how it pans out. 3/4 of the game almost done. Bit of head tennis in and around the Brighton box. It's gone the way.
เอาไว้แค่ประมาณครึ่งชั่วโมงนะครับเพื่อน
Of the D, can't get a shot off. Had it, but well, he thought he had support from Ndai, but he's caught in possession. Brighton will now try and clear. Klaus a little bit too close for comfort, is he? Comfort, yes. Mitoma wins the free kick. Klaus penalised halfway inside the Brighton half.
เฮ้ยใครล้มอีกแล้วอ่ะ
Brighton can get back on the front foot. Obviously, the game
เอา
ticking on. They
เอ็น
are
ได
likely to come
สวย
forward.
โอ้ไฮลิตไม่ถึงเอาขวา
Change or two as well.
อ้าวไม่ได้ครับเพื่อน
I actually thought
ๆไบตันครับไบตันจะสวนโอ้โหมิโตมะ
Link against
พลิกสวยจัดแต่ไม่ได้ครับโอเค
goals, but essentially
สวัสดีนะเพื่อนๆ6010เกือบ20คนนะครับฝากกดไลค์กดแชร์กดติดตามให้หน่อยนะครับเพื่อนๆขอสัก20ไลค์นะ
but he's
รบกวนด้วย20-30ไลค์นะครับฝากด้วย
Summer, wasn't he? And you think really, if Brighton are signing someone, you know they're going to be good. And he doesn't start that many games. He comes off from the bench, so is he ready really for De Zerbi yet? He didn't start this game as well, but he's got a good 25 or so minutes, accounting for some added time as well to try and make his mark. So too Billy Gilmour. I mean, he's trying to get back what was expected of him in his early stages of his career. Now on the south coast, alongside Pascal Gross for this evening. But yeah, it's still a really young team for Brighton, and they've done incredibly well to get to where they are. But yeah, sometimes you just question as whether they need a bit more experience in that regard. João Pedro still completely young, and
เนี่ยครับเพื่อนอูนาฮีอันนี้เหมือนจะเป็นกองกลางทีมชาติโมร็อกโกนะครับเพื่อน
I mean, as you say, it's crazy to think that he's got 2 goals, but he sort of doesn't work out too well. But now Marseille coming forward anyway, as the ball chipped towards the back post, cleared by Veltman. It was Ndiaye with that cross on the far side. It's won by Klaus and by Unani, and they'll keep going Marseille.
Yeah, Marseille eventually get it back. Well, that's a little bit loose towards Balerdi. No chance of Pedro intercepting, but it does mean Balerdi has to go back to Lopez. I can tell you West Ham are back in front. That'll be a good performance from them, a good result for them if it sticks. 2-1 they lead at Freiburg. as Marseille lead by a similar score. They do have home advantage, but the second half.
เอาละเพื่อนๆประมาณ20 นาทีนะแต่ง่วงมากเลยนะเพื่อนๆพูดตามตรงเลยคือแบบดูเงยหง่อยไงไม่รู้วันเนี้ยมักเซยก็พยายามถ่ายบอลไปถ่ายบอลมาทั้งสนามอ่ะให้ผู้เล่นของกาลาตาสลายนะเพื่อนๆ
wasn't to be. It was a great block from Dunk. Now Dunk has to instruct his defenders to get back as there's an intended through ball towards Ismail Assar, who hasn't really managed to get in the game yet. He has only been on a few minutes, but we all know what he's capable of from his time both in the Championship and the Premier League with Watford, the Senegalese winger. Now with Dunk all the way back to Jason Steele. Certainly hasn't been tested in the same manner in this half as he did in the first, conceding 2 goals. 2 potentially avoidable goals for Brighton, but we have highlighted they do like to concede goals. But in Brighton games, goals are always guaranteed.
เอาเลยครับเพื่อนๆ
3 goals in their 7 games in the Premier League so far. 19 scored, 14 assisted, and there's been 3 in this one as well as 5 in their match against AEK Athens. So it's always a guaranteed excitement with these Brighton games. But they'll want more goals in this one with the remaining 20 minutes. They want to try and get back on level terms. They do. As it stands, they would continue to be on 0 points. AEK Athens will be on 3, Ajax 4, Marseille 4 as well. So they'd be the top 2. It's still the early stages, of course, in the Europa League. We're only a third of the way through, aren't we? But it's always vital at any stage to get points. And if Brighton go through a third of the group without picking up a point, then maybe the alarm bells would be ringing and they would need to try and turn things around if they wanted to keep their maiden Europa League voyage going. It was Naya Fagur that got the second for West Ham away against Freiburg. So as you mentioned, Rob, they are 2-1 to the good thanks to the defender. And now Solly March in our game gives the ball away and Welbeck gives a cheap foul. I think it's on Bellardi, who will roll down and roll around, of course. De Zerbi is frustrated, punches the ball away as it was sent towards his own bench. And I think Bellardi's going to try and take as much time as possible here and slow proceedings down. Brighton have had the most possession now. I think they've turned that around really since the first 45. But outside of that chance from Gross, I thought really when they got going, and they were really fluid going forward in that move at the very least, I thought we could have expected more from them. And outside of that header from Van Hecken, all it was from a cross from a corner, they haven't been as fluid as I would have suspected in trying to get back into the game.
No, it's been a struggle, and I think arguably too many players have just having an off day. I mean, they might win this game, but I don't think Mitoma's kind of done what we've seen him do. I know he's a little bit in and out like most wingers, I guess, but he struggled to get any kind of momentum. I know he got the assist, but Lamptey has been more or less the runner down that left-hand side. March has struggled to get involved. Welbeck, when he was as the front man, was a little bit too deep. This is when they weren't chasing the game, so now they are chasing the game. You just wonder how they're going to play it. They need players to hold it up. Here goes Mitoma. He's got the pace. No support.
No, it's a great ball over the top, and he is onside. Mitoma, great shot, but a good save in the end from Lopez. It was on his weaker foot. He was dragged out wide, really, in the end from the Marseille defence. I imagine he would have preferred to have cut in on his right foot. It's Chancellor Mbemba that gets over there. The long legs of the Congolese defender maybe just closes the angles in the end for the strike from Mitoma. It's centre of the goal, really. The strike in the net, but strong.
ไปมิโตมะยิงโอ้โหติดเซฟเฮียโอ้โหโอ้โหเพื่อนๆติดเซฟเฉยโอ้แต่ยากนะบังคับบอลให้เข้ากรอบได้นี่ก็ถือว่ายากมากแล้ว
So it really would be seldom seen, this potential victory, if they do manage to get it over the line. We're nearly at 75th minute, only a quarter of an hour to remain. Independent Offshoot Studio Commentary, Marseille 2.
ไปก็ฝากด้วยนะครับฝากกด Subscribe ฝากกดติดตามให้ด้วยนะตามตรงเลยง่วงมากเลยผมอะเมื่อคืนนอน2 ชั่วโมงกว่าเอง
room in the end. Has Welbeck given another cheap foul away? I think he has on Unahi. He's so frustrated there, Welbeck. He thought he had nabbed the ball away from the Moroccan, but in the end he clipped his heels, and once again the play will stop. It's probably gone how we predicted, really, Rob, in the sense of a second half where Marseille may have thought
สวยแลมตี้ไปแลมตี้ลากไปโอ้โหอะไรวะ
stop
ไม่ผ่านเลยอ่ะเพื่อน
a few times. It's been a lot more free kicks, I think, really. A lot of dead ball scenarios, which obviously cuts away at some seconds. Brighton desperate to get it back. They have done now with Lamptey, who's gone narrow to intercept it. It's now with March. Ball around the corner from Gilmore towards Danny Welbeck in a wide position on the right flank. Cuts in on his left foot. Gilmore is there as well, and in the end, well, he had three options to pick from, and he found neither the Scottish international. It's a frustrating one for the ex-Chelsea midfielder. It's gone out of play, so it gives a chance for De Zerbi to make what would be his third and fourth substitutions, respectively. Two attacking ones, no surprise there. It's Seman Adingra and Evan Ferguson, I think it is, the two of them to be coming on. So two more attacking-minded players. You'd suspect that maybe Welbeck's night is now finally over. Interesting as to who would be the other player. Perhaps Solly March, I would assume, if they just wanted to keep a similar formation. But it's fresh legs in the final third, which Brighton desperately need. More attacking impetus as Welbeck just loses on that long ball from Van Hecker, and it goes all the way to Lopez.
เอาไว้อ่านแล้วครับฟูสั้นนะ
Welbeck's probably
มาแววต้องเปลี่ยนตัวละไพตันบอกไม่ไหวแล้วอยู่ไม่ได้
he's not making runs in behind, he's not threatening, and his passing hasn't been the best today. That last attack, you think they've got an opportunity, but he just wants to take everything inside into traffic. But he's starting, he's not hugging the ball over the top, and Vitinha thinks he's on. So I was checked down by Steele.
แบบปลุกไม่ได้เหมือนกันนะ
Vitinha's
สำหรับ
actually offside. That was a risk, but I guess it's okay. But he didn't know the flag was going to go up because he took a chest and then was hurriedly trying to clear it. So that those changes rather going to be made. But yeah, I'd probably, like you, think March and Welbeck. I can see number 18 being flagged up, so we definitely know that Welbeck is departing, presumably for Ferguson. Didn't quite see the first one. But it depends how gung-ho he wants to go. You could arguably take off play a back three, maybe. Dunk, Veltman and Van Heck. Just push the likes of Lamptey a bit further forward. I don't know. Dingra, I didn't quite see who it was, Ben.
I think it is Solly March. You raise a good point. If he wants to make one last roll of the dice, De Zerbi, he may have to change his formation. But nevertheless, Adingra and Evan Ferguson are on. Ferguson is only a fortnight away from his 19th birthday, still only 18. But such bags of potential. I can confirm it was Solly March off for Seman Adingra and Danny Welbeck off for Evan Ferguson. Ferguson already has 5 goals this season, 4 in the Premier League and 1 in the EFL Cup. Can he get one? His first one in European competition. He's going to race into the box as the ball is played to the far side from Matoma. One-on-one with Klaus. There's Ndiaye for support there as well. Good check onto his left foot from Matoma. Cuts it back to Adingra. Well, it wasn't going in, but he's just stuck a leg out. Has the Brighton youngster wanting to send it goal bound. It would have gone wide. I think Lopez had lost his bearings there because he's made a save. He was scrambling back towards his centre of goal, and he didn't know where the shot was going to end up. It would have gone wide, but instead it's gone for a corner because he made that save.
Yeah, I mean, I think if it had gone back to Matoma, who's lurking far post, of course, he's probably offside. Well, he wasn't even on the pitch, but yeah, you're never quite sure though. But better from Brighton.
Yeah, and the in-swinger will go all the way to the back post. Dunk, can he keep it alive? He can't. He's right on the byline there, and he has to head it behind him, and instead it goes ahead. So, well, there's no surprise he's going to go out for a goal kick. Lopez is complaining about something. He's earned a goal kick. But I think he's saying there was a nudge on his back and he would have wanted a free kick. They're going to say at the time with a goal kick, I think, regardless. But there's Matoma for you. He loves to get on the ball in wide areas and dribble and take on fullbacks. We haven't seen that enough in the game. And one of the first examples of it has come in the 78th minute. Quite remarkable, really. But he did beat Klaus by checking in on his left foot, cutting it back. And Adingra, his first involvement was to get a shot towards goal. It would have gone wide, but Lopez was taking no chances, as I said. Iliman Ndiaye, the former Sheffield United man, is his race is run as well for the evening. He is coming off, and on in his place is Renan Lodi. So that is a defensive change. The Brazilian fullback, formerly of Atletico Madrid, is coming on. So we're pondering and hypothesising about a change in Brighton's formation. We may have just seen one in an alteration in shape for Gennaro Gattuso's men, because you're looking at a left fullback coming on for a right winger.
Well, I mean, they've done nothing in the second half, really. That Vitinha effort was from a free kick just smashed downfield. But that's about all they've offered. They had acres of space down each flank, but I think they've just retreated. Maybe it's fresh legs, maybe it's protecting the back four. We're just seeing Matoma's arguably his first influence, first skills. I know he got the assist, but that was after Lamptey's good work. He's beaten his man, he's skinned them, and he's set up an opportunity. But where's that been? And obviously that's going to get into the heads of Gattuso. But there's only a little over 10 minutes left. They just haven't threatened a third goal. That's the problem for them. So it's kind of like, I'm going to have to protect what I've got because we're not creating anything, I reckon. I mean, Vitinha isn't going to appreciate that, but he's fresh legs up front. He's going to have to chase down lost causes. But Brighton possession the second half has been pretty dominant.
Yeah, now they've got a set piece to work with. It's floating towards the back post. Matoma keeps it alive. I think it's come off of Van Hecke in the end, which roles reversed, isn't it? Van Hecke had that shot about 15 minutes ago and it hit Matoma. This time Matoma crosses it and it hits his defender and goes out for a Marseille goal kick. To get away with that one because Matoma's in acres of space on the back post. Renan Lodi's only just come on. He's the closest there, but he's a good 4 or 5 yards away from the Japanese. And fortunately for the hosts, goes out for a goal kick in their favour. They have taken it short, so Evan Ferguson will apply some pressure. Harrit will lay it off to Rongier. Now towards Murillo. He stayed as the left back. So I think Renan Lodi has gone in a left midfield.
ห้องเลยกูเอ้ย
Now on the right hand side.
แมนยูก็ได้แค่นี้แหละแพ้กันลาตาลายโอ้ย สวัสดีครับพี่พล
Few exchanges in possession between the two sides. I think Brighton have got the
น่าจะ2-1ยาวๆล่ะวันเนี้ยอีก10 นาทีนะครับเพื่อน
Veltman races over to win it. The ball boy pushes the ball away from the Dutchman. He finally gets it back. He wants to get it on the pitch as soon as possible. As you'd suspect, because they want to get a point from this game. It's the first Europa League campaign, first campaign of any European description. Marseille, previously finalists in the competition back in 20.
อะไรวะฝากเพื่อนๆนะครับอีกไลค์เดียวนะครับจะครบ20แล้วฝากเพื่อนกดไลค์กดแชร์กดติดตามให้หน่อย
This campaign, Gilmore will now send it long to Adingra. Can he bring it under his spell? He can't. In the end, hits his studs as he tried to bring it down from the air, and it again goes for a Marseille goal kick. The final few minutes really are working in Marseille's favour. The ball is always going out for them, and they can just tick the seconds by. AEK Athens have got an equaliser against Ajax. It was Domagoj Vida, the Croatian centre-back, to get that. So that once again changes the dynamic of this.
โอ้โหไอ้ห่าว้าวแดงอีก
Of course, AEK Athens beat Brighton, so they were going to
ว้าวกินเลย
Marseille. Ajax are going to, and Brighton, as it stands, would remain on 0. Good flick on from the goal kick there from Amin Harrit, but Vitinha was in a different area of the pitch, so he couldn't keep it alive. So Brighton will want to come forward now with Adingra. Good interception from Maria. Adingra then frustrated perhaps, gives away a cheap foul on Unahi. And it's just playing into Marseille's hands, isn't it, Rob? Because they keep winning free kicks or dead ball scenarios here and there to just completely tick the clock down. You mentioned before they haven't really had any opportunities, barring that Vitinha one since coming on. It's been a half where they haven't really made any attempts to get 3 goals, barring that one, and yet they still lead.
Yeah, I mean, probably what's as frustrating for Brighton is some of the fouls. I mean, the referee let a little bit go in the first half, but now it's always the way, isn't it? Running out the clock, bit of contact, go down, you get a free kick, and it's like, well, this wasn't happening in the first half. It's just going to add to the frustration of Brighton. It breaks up the play. They've had a lot of possession. They've had chances.
ต้องดูนะครับเพื่อนๆอีกประมาณ 7-8 นาทีนะกัตตุโซ่นะครับจะคุมชนะในบ้านได้หรือเปล่านะได้ข่าวเพิ่งมาด้วย
I think they're going to be desperate to protect a victory because it's been a struggle. Veltman's just caught his man. Veltman is suggesting that there wasn't much contact. He's told to get up. He's telling the man that he got to get up. I think it was Murillo. It's a free kick on the halfway line, but it's more stoppages. It looks as though the referee's actually booked at Veltman, so that's not good for him. But yeah, it's all running down the clock. I mean, with their possession, I don't think Brighton have quite created enough chances, to be honest. They're going to have to finish this game pretty strongly. Marseille have created nothing in the second half, so it's just a question of whether they can hang on, in my opinion. Lewis Dunk actually got yellow card. A mistake from Lamptey, offside anyway, so it won't actually matter. He tried to control it, lost his balance, but Ismail Assar was coming from an offside position, so it is a free kick. Time ticks down, but there's no ambition from Marseille, so it's just a question whether Brighton can find an equaliser.
And time is ticking out, as you say. Not enough. I mean, when the goal went in from Pascal Gross, you're just thinking maybe the game can shift in favour of the Seagulls. And whilst they've had more of the possession,
เนี่ยครับเพื่อนๆไม่ได้
you look at the statistics, more shots. They haven't had
อะไรวะ
to get back on level
7 นาทีครับเพื่อน
down though from Matoma from that offside. He's dispossessed in the end by Klaus. I think he's been brilliant on that far side. Well, in the right back sense, of course on the near side in the first half.
7 นาทีครับเพื่อนๆฝากด้วยครับฝากกดไลค์กดแชร์กดติดตามให้หน่อย
That do keep Marseille as it stands in the lead. 2 goals to 1. Brighton now once again coming forward. Joao Pedro, we haven't mentioned his name enough either as he tries to link up with Evan Ferguson. Marseille will just clear it. A case of anywhere will do. And we've still got 5 minutes of regulation time at the very least. So deep now are the hosts as they'll just nod it back to Lopez there. Well read by Murillo as Adingra was just on his shoulder there, but he can nudge it back to his goalkeeper. And he will keep hold of the ball as long as he can, as you would suspect. Evan Ferguson is there to try and maybe apply some pressure. Real Betis have just gone ahead against Sparta Prague. They were down early on, weren't they? 3rd minute they conceded, but they have turned it around. Thanks to Isco, a bit of a blast from the past. The Spanish and former Real Madrid man has got what it stands would be the winning goal in Andalusia. West Ham still 2-1 up against Freiburg. And it's a similar scoreline in the south of France, but in favour of Marseille. Although Willis, as Adingra gets a header in, and again he's missed the target by some quite considerable distance. He stayed in play, in fact, as Joao Pedro was on the far side, and it was a great delivery in. Adingra had peeled off of his marker, and it was a free header in the end. He's got to be doing better there. Lopez started to panic. He was thinking it could have gone goal bound. But in the end, it went completely wide of the mark. There's still threat alive, though, with Matoma now on the edge of the area. Can he get it to Gross? He can't, but it stays with the Japanese. Now towards Adingra. He's got Veltman on the overlap. He opts not to go for him.
โอ้โหไม่ได้อีก
Ferguson cleared out as far as
เฮียไม่ได้เพื่อนๆนี่เสมอไม่ได้
gives a penalty to Brighton.
โอ้โหไม่ใช่ว่าไม่มีโอกาสนะครับเพื่อนๆไบรตันอ่ะ
to get back to 2-2. We've said they haven't created enough opportunities to get back on level terms. They would have should have deserved the penalty in the first half. We believe it wasn't, and it was a good decision by the referee. This time
เอาเว้ยมีตัวม้าออกขวา
but to point to the spot.
อาดิก้าเปิดโอ้โหเอา โอ้เรียบร้อยจุดโทษโอ้ใบเหลืองเลยเอาละครับเพื่อนๆไบรตันได้จุดโทษเสียท่าเลยอ่ะเสียหายหลายแสนเลยอ่ะเพื่อนๆโอ้โหเอาแล้วไงเพื่อนๆเสียจุดโทษเลยโหแลมเต้หลอกสวยจัดโหเหยียบเต็มเลยอะ
the edge of the box, Matoma coming in field. Somebody's launching themselves in, and you can just sense there's 1 or 2 nerves. 2-0 up, Marseille were seemingly in control, but a penalty this late stage. I say late stage, 87th minute. I mean, there's time for either side to win this, but you'd think.
เอาไว้เพื่อนๆไม่กี่นาทีเท่านั้นนะครับจะหมดแล้วต้องดูนะครับว่าจุดโทษจะเป็นอย่างไรใครจะเป็นคนยิงเอาเฮ้ยมีปะทะกันอีกแล้วงัดก่อนเดี๋ยวเขายิงงัดกันก่อนเหมือนผู้เล่นไอ้นี่มักเลยนะครับก็ไม่ยอมอ่ะโอ้โหแต่ลูกนี้มันพลาดจริงๆตัวดู VR ไงก็พลาดโอ้โหเข้าพวดขนาดนี้มาที่เสมอ 2-2 ป่ะ
steps from the Brazilian Joao Pedro and sends Lopez the wrong way. Brighton have got an equaliser. It's 2-2. He shushes the crowd behind the goal in Marseille. Jubilation for the Brighton fans who made the trip from the south of England to the south of France with only a few minutes remaining. They have got their first ever points in a European competition.
Yeah, 3 goals, 3 penalties. He's been clinical, Pedro. Brighton have been turning the screw without necessarily creating a raft of chances, but it only takes one.
เรียบร้อยครับเพื่อนๆ 2-2 โอ้โหเจ้าเปโดนะครับเพื่อนๆโอ้โห 2-2
making contact with attackers, you're taking your sort of life into your own hands there. He knew it was a penalty, but the pressure's still on this late in the game, and that's 3 pretty cool penalties that Pedro's had in this competition. Dunk's actually getting a bit of treatment. Balerdi's got a yellow card. This is while we're watching replays of the penalty. Balerdi's got a yellow card, and Dunk's getting treatment. So I don't think he's got a yellow card for punching Dunk or anything. Maybe something that's been thrown from the crowd. Maybe Balerdi's had too much to say, because if he's done something physically that Dunk needs treatment, then it should be a red, I'm guessing. But we haven't seen the replay. But more time's going to be added on. Brighton have got all the momentum. Marseille are probably just losing their collective minds right now. How are we so in control of this game that we're not winning?
เจ็บเลยครับเพื่อนๆดัง
Just been too
น่าเจ็บหนักนะผมว่าน่าจะเล่นไม่ไหวแล้วล่ะดูทรงแล้วเนี่ย
opposite for them in the first game. They were 2-0 down against Ajax and managed to bring it back to a draw. That was 3-3. This time they're 2-0.
ก็เดี๋ยวเราโฟกัสกันที่คู่นี้นะครับแต่คู่ลิเวอร์พูลก็
2-2 from their perspective. They'll have thrown
ก็คงจะไม่ได้ไลน์นะสำหรับค่ำคืนนี้เพราะไม่ไหวจริงๆง่วงจัดก็ขออภัยด้วยครับขออภัยแฟนลิเวอร์พูลด้วยคู่ลิเวอร์พูลผมอาจจะไม่ได้ไลน์นะไม่ไหวแล้วเมื่อคืนนอนน้อยจัดตอนนี้ก็ง่วง
Kickoff hasn't happened yet, so it was obviously between the time the goal was scored and now. It's 7 minutes of added time. Gennaro Gattuso pointing to his players and then pointing to his head. Just keep a level head and not let the situation get to you. Well, the fourth official, it is 7 minutes, I can confirm. The images were incorrect at first on our feed, but the fourth official did put 7 on his board. Gattuso wants his players to not let the situation get ahead of them, and maybe he'll want them to go up the other end this time and get a winner. They haven't done enough in the second half really to
เอาล่ะเพื่อนๆ7 นาทีทดเวลา
double their advantage. Brighton neither really have given enough until that penalty. Well worked from Lamptey on that far side, playing an unnatural position, but he did win the spot kick, which, as you said, João Pedro did duly deliver. 3 goals in the Europa League for him already, 3 penalties, which of course he has to make the job done and dispatch them. As the ball goes now to the Marseille goalkeeper, Paul Lopez. Tries to calm things down towards Rongier. Good ball forward though, maybe a bit more impetus for Marseille. Oh, that's a great play from Munahi. Can he find it to Vitinha? He can't. Enough bodies in the way. Lewis Dunk, who's only just come back on the pitch, is racing back into position. And on his journey back into the back line, he did intercept that ball. Now it's with Billy Gilmore, under pressure from Munahi, but he gets a good ball out wide to Veltman, who will run into acres of space. Finds João Pedro, plenty of Brighton bodies forward. Can they get one? It's a good flick around the corner from João Pedro. Will they earn a free kick? I think they will. It's about 20 yards from goal.
เฮ้ยเลยโอ้โหไม่ผ่าน
The Marseille defense did get on the end of that Pedro flick on, so the referee does bring it back for the free kick.
เวลา7 นาทีนะครับเพื่อนๆ7 นาทีสุดท้ายไปเว้ยไม่ใช่กดชนะไปนะสัตว์พะโล้เลยนะครับเพื่อนๆมัสเกากอดโอ้โหได้ฟรีคิกอีกแล้ว
the momentum's been going one way, hasn't it?
เอาละครับโมเมนตัมมันมาหาไบรตันนะเพื่อนๆโมเมนตัมมันมาหาไบรตันเลยอะโอ้โหโอ้โหพักเต็มเลยเวนโอ้โหแล้วฟรีคิกแม่งลูกนี้แม่งยิงได้เลยอะ
into the 3rd minute of 7 minutes of stoppage time, and there's still a fair chunk of time left. So I mean, this is a good opportunity. I'm not sure I'd have Lewis Dunk stood over it. Less than 25 yards out. This free kick looks like he's going to toe poke it.
Well, it'll be quite a redemption story after his mistake in the first half.
เอาไป
Strike it straight at the wall. Unahi and Vitinha getting in the way. It'll come back to Dunk.
โอ้ตั้งกำแพงกันนานมากเพื่อน
Sky Lopez does well to claim it in the end. Will he distribute it quickly? He won't. I think he wanted to get a counter going forward, but Brighton did well to get some bodies back in the end. Yeah, Donkey, he does like to have a free kick from distance, but I don't think he's managed to.
ครับลิดดังจะชูดไหมครับดังไปเลยลิดดังยิงโอ้โหยิงติดกำแพงดังอีกทีนึงเปิดโอ้โห
Come back to Klaus on the byline, gets a cross in, deflected and out for a corner. One of the rare occasions where Marseille have got beyond the Brighton defence in this half, and it's Matoma who is tracking back to get his body in the way. Harriet races over to take this corner. Everyone on their feet in the Stade Velodrome at the moment, because Marseille do want to get this win over the line. Brighton will want to but both teams can score and concede. It could go either way, couldn't it, in the remainder of this match. Harriet takes
เฮ้ยหลอกสวยเอาเปิดเอาเว้ยได้ลูกเตะมุมอีกเฮ้ยต้องผัดกันบุกเลยว่ะเพื่อน
Yeah, I mean it's better play from Marseille. I mean they're trying to exploit the gaps that are potentially there. If you think that's how you stop Mitoma and Lamptey running it. You get in behind them. They did that. I thought Lamptey was lucky to escape with a yellow, not because it was.
เฮ้ยมาอีกแล้วไอ้เหี้ยโอ้โหดีนะเซฟได้โอ้โหใหม่ลุดแล้วเนี่ยครับกึ่งยิงกึ่งผ่านมาเลยอ่ะ
Just shouldered Balerdi out of the way, and that's a free kick. Ferguson's gone into the book. I think Balerdi made the contact obvious because his attempted pass didn't find a target, but still Ferguson goes into. ไปเว้ยไปยังมีเวลาเว้ยไบตันเอาหน่อยไบตันไปแล้วโอ้โหไปฟาวอีกครับฟูซันนี่ฝากเพื่อนนะครับฝากกด subscribe ฝากกดติดตามให้ด้วยนะครับกดกระดิ่งแจ้งเตือนไว้ด้วยนะแล้วใครจะซัพพอร์ตนะครับ QR code ที่ขึ้นอยู่ทางหน้าจอแล้วก็เลขบัญชีนะครับสนับสนุนมาเป็นท่อน้ำเลี้ยงนะครับของช่องผมได้เลยนะครับเพื่อนขอบคุณล่วงหน้าไว้เลยนะครับแล้วอีกอย่างเรามีฟิวเจอร์ซูเปอร์แชทและซูเปอร์แตงนะแต่ทางให้ดีนะครับถ้าโดยตรงเลยเลขเข้าเลขบัญชีโดเนทมาทางบัญชีผมโดยตรงเลยผมได้เต็มเม็ดเต็มหน่วยครับพี่ให้10 บาทผมก็ได้10 บาทเลยแต่ถ้าพี่ไปซื้อซูเปอร์แชทหรือซูเปอร์แตงนะมันหักเราเยอะครับเพื่อนๆขอ YouTube
Cyprus, as it stands, Rangers' season seems to be going from bad to worse as the ball goes now all the way back to Steele. He did send it long, but it finds it back at his feet. Now
เหลือประมาณนาทีนิดๆนะครับเพื่อนๆน่าจะจบประมาณนี้แหละผมว่าน่าจะไม่มีอะไรแล้วมิโตมะเปิดเฮ้ย
Still in last position on 1 point, but they would be only a victory away potentially from going from last into first. As I said, still 4 games left in the group stages, so plenty can happen. It's now with Mitoma, only 30 seconds left. It would be the last chance now for the visiting side to bring what would be a remarkable comeback.
แล้วเพื่อนๆจะครบแล้ว
They're slowing the pace down. Has that gone out of play? I don't think it has. Mitoma has kept it in. Plays the safe option once more to Tariq Lamptey. Marseille do well to hound them out, in fact, in the end, because Brighton have to go all the way back to Lewis Dunk. Bit of a wayward pass, but it did reach Lamptey. Nearly did Sarr get in the way, but it's gone out from Marseille throwing. That might be the have gone past 7 minutes. In fact, it is. The arms are raised by the referee and the whistle is blown. So they were 2-0 down at half-time were Brighton, but they've managed to get it level late on thanks to a penalty from João Pedro. It's their first ever point in a European competition. They'll be delighted to come back from 2-0 down. It does finish in the south coast of France. Marseille 2, Brighton Hove Albion 2.
เรียบร้อยครับเพื่อนๆเสมอนะครับเป็นโอลิมปิกมักเซยนะครับเสมอกับไบรตันไป2-2นะครับคืนนี้อีกคู่หนึ่งนะครับดึกๆเป็นลิเวอร์พูลนะลิเวอร์พูลจะเตะถือว่ามันมากนะเพื่อนๆคู่นี้ก็สูสีกันใช้ได้เลยมันมากๆยังไงเพื่อนๆลิเวอร์พูลนะเตะอีกไม่กี่นาทีแล้ว20 วัน20 นาทีพี่ครับโชต้าโดนใบแดงแล้วลงได้ไงโดนใบแดงในพรีเมียร์ครับพี่อนัทในพรีเมียร์กับในยูฟ่ามันนับคนละแบบกันครับเพื่อนๆพี่ครับเขาโดนใบแดงในพรีเมียร์แต่เขาไม่นับพอมาเล่นในยูฟ่ามันก็ไม่นับ
Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck.
จะต้องตกใจนะ
Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total
ขอบคุณ
goals
ครับเพิ่งรู้
market, handicap
เหมือน
betting,
ถ้ายก
or
ตัว
any
อย่าง
other
ก็
of
เหมือน
our
คาเซมิ
exciting
โร่ครับ
markets.
เพื่อนๆ
It's
พี่
fun to be involved.
คาเซมิโร่
Don't forget when the match kicks
ที่
off,
โดนใบ
you
แด
can
ง
sit
ใน
back and enjoy
ใน
superb
ยูฟ่าแชมเปี้ยนลีก
independent
ใช่ไหม
studio
ครับเพื่อน
commentary while also enjoying
ๆใบแดง
our
ในใบ
in-play
แต่ไป
betting
เล่นในพรีเมียร์ได้
opportunities.
แต่กลับมาเล่นใน
Good luck.
ยูฟ่าแชมเปี้ยนลีกไม่ได้ แต่ถ้าเป็นบอลในถ้วยอังกฤษอาจจะนับเหมือนกันนะครับถ้าเป็นพวก FA ครับคาราบาวอะไรอย่างเงี้ยครับอาจจะนับด้วยกันรวมเอาเป็นฟุตบอลในประเทศเนี่ยอันนี้ฟุตบอลยุโรปมันก็จะเป็นแบบเป็นอีกกฎหนึ่งกฎของยูฟ่ากฎพรีเมียร์มันก็หลายกฎนะครับเพื่อนๆอยู่ที่ว่าใครจะเป็นเจ้าของถ้วยนั้นแค่นั้นเองมีเอนโดนะครับกาเวนเบิร์กเอเลียตโอ้วันนี้จะมีการ์ดโอ้นี่ลิเวอร์พูลนี่น่าเป็นนูเนสเจโกโชต้าโมเมซาร่าเลยนะครับเพื่อนโอ้แต่เจอทีมหมูอ่ะวันนี้พี่เพื่อนเจอทีมค่อนข้างที่จะหมูมากๆเลย
Don't forget when the match kicks off, you can sit back
แต่อยากดูนะครับเพื่อนๆไม่ใช่ว่าผมไม่อยากดูนะลิเวอร์พูลแต่ไม่ไหวจริงๆครับพี่ผมง่วงมากเมื่อกี้ผมยังนั่งวูบหลับไปนาที2 นาทีเลยขออภัยแฟนแมนยูด้วยครับแฟนลิเวอร์พูลด้วยก็เดี๋ยวเจอกันวันเสาร์นู่นครับเพื่อนๆตอนพรีเมียร์เดี๋ยวผมขออนุญาตเปิดให้พวกพี่ๆดูเลยเดี๋ยวเรานัดกันเลยไว้เรามาเจอกัน
correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting markets. It's fun to be involved. Don't forget when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck.
เนี่ยครับวันเสาร์อาจจะเจอตอน3 ทุ่มครับน่าจะเป็นคู่แมนยูกับเบนฟอร์ดนะครับที่เราจะไลฟ์เป็นคู่แมนยูกับเบนฟอร์ดนะครับเพื่อนๆช่วง5 ทุ่มครึ่งก็เป็นคิดสั้นไปเลยกับนอตติงแฮมก็ไม่มีคู่อะไรดูเลยจะมีลีกอื่นไหมต้องดูลีกอื่นนะว่าถ้าลีกอื่นมีบอลมันผมก็จะไปดูลีกอื่นค่อยหาอีกทีนึงว่าเราจะไปดูคู่ไหนกันดีแล้วก็วันอาทิตย์นี่อาจจะมาเป็นคู่ไบรตันกับลิเวอร์พูลแล้วก็4 ทุ่มครึ่งนะครับเป็นอาร์เซนอลกับแมนซิตี้
Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting markets, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck.
พูดถึงวันนี้ก็เตะกันเยอะอยู่นะช่วงตี 2เนี่ยมีเอสตันวิลล่านะครับทีมโรม่าเยลิวนะครับเพื่อนๆทีมที่พอรู้จักนะทีมอื่นเราไม่ค่อยรู้จักเลเวอร์คูเซ่นฟิออติน่ามันมีทั้งคอนเฟอเรนซ์แล้วก็ยูโรป้าเลยใช่ไหมครับวันนี้พร้อมกันเลย
Don't forget when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck. Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having
เรา
a bet on
นอน
the
กัน
match?
อ่ะครับเพื่อนๆพี่นอนกันพักผ่อนกันเดี๋ยวก็วันนี้นะครับขอบคุณมากนะเพื่อนๆพี่ที่ตามรับชมรับฟังนะเวลาจะตี 2แล้วเรานอนพักผ่อนกันเดี๋ยวแล้วก็วันนี้นะครับก่อนจากกันนะครับฝากกด Subscribe ฝากกดติดตามนะครับกดกระดิ่งแจ้งเตือนไว้ด้วยนะครับพี่ๆเวลาผมมีคลิปใหม่เวลาผมมีไลฟ์สดแชร์บอลใหม่ๆจะได้เพื่อนๆพี่ๆจะได้มาเชียร์ไปด้วยกันนะรบกวนฝากกดถูกใจนะครับฝากกด Subscribe แล้วก็ใครมีกำลังที่จะ ซัพพอร์ตนะครับเลขบัญชีด้านล่างนะซัพพอร์ตมาโดยตรงได้เลยนะครับก็ไม่ได้อยากให้พวกพี่ๆส่งในซูเปอร์แชทซูเปอร์แตงมาครับมันได้เงินแบบมันหักเราเยอะเกินไปครับทาง YouTube ผมว่ามันไม่คุ้มถ้าพี่จากสนับสนุนของจริงก็ขอให้เป็นพร้อมเพย์นะเลขบัญชีผมได้เลยนะครับด้านล่างเป็นเบอร์ผมแล้วอย่างใครจะติดต่อโฆษณานะครับติดต่อมาที่ไลน์แอดในด้านล่างคลิปได้เลยนะครับในรายละเอียดคลิปด้านล่างนะครับเป็นไลน์แอดก็ติดต่อมาได้เลยฝากพี่ด้วยครับฝากกด Subscribe ฝากกดติดตามเป็นกำลังใจให้ผมด้วยนะครับวันนี้ลาตรีสวัสดิ์ครับสวัสดีครับบ๊ายบาย